Hello, everyone. Welcome out to episode 41 of Sunforged. How are we doing? Good?
Good.
Super good.
41?
Yeah. That's kind of crazy,
That's
right?
not crazy.
Now,
What?
Sam's
I
AFK,
know.
but OG did remind me of something that I've been waiting for and I forgot about. Do you know what else that makes today? Technically. As of 5 days ago, but this is kind of our closest episode to it.
1 year.
1 year. Yeah, we've been doing Sunforged for a year. Yeah,
That's
as of the 10th.
crazy.
Fuck.
Yeah, it's weird, right? It feels like we're at the beginning of this campaign. But
my
yes, we've been a year
God.
of doing this one. And
Dodger's face.
What?
yeah,
How long did Godforce run?
3 years, 127
This one
episodes.
feels like it's gonna run longer for some.
Yeah,
I feel
right.
like
Yeah,
it'll
right.
run
Yeah.
longer.
Yeah.
We have a lot more points on this
Yeah.
one to hit
Yeah.
still.
I mean, to give you an idea, this is for those in it. This is the point where I think towards
It's
the end of
wild when you go
Wolfguard.
back and look.
I
Yep.
think that's where
This
we
is
were
around
here.
when was it? Yeah,
Yeah.
This is like a little bit before when I would have.
Yeah, you came in at
towards the end of Wolf.
50 something. So it's close to you
Yeah.
coming in at like
That's crazy.
yeah. Yeah, it's weird, right? It's really
I
strange.
always think that you joined so late in the Godforge campaign, but you really didn't.
I came in
No.
like
Quite
right
early.
smack dab in like half, or maybe a little
Yeah.
bit before half.
A little bit before half, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, which is pretty wild. You've nearly technically had a full campaign if you combine them now, as in like 10 episodes
Yeah.
time. But yeah, it's weird, right? It's really strange. But yes, 1 year, happy year to everyone here. And it's actually kind of a good one to go into because it'll probably be quite an in-depth one of deciding where you're going to go next for the next portion of your journey. Sam is here for everyone wondering. He's just AFK 1 sec, so he'll be back soon. So whilst we wait,
taking a dump.
I wasn't going to
For
say. I was going to
reference,
say.
yeah.
I was going to say.
He's pooping.
That's that.
I was gonna say something
right now.
different. I just looked at my notes. Episode 41 of Godforged. We were just given Old Blues Estate.
Oh, okay.
Aw,
Oh,
What?
nice. That's cute.
that's
So I have like a list of
sweet.
what was on the ground floor, second floor, etc. I was like,
Aw.
Fabia took the small bedroom up at the top right away and chucked all the books down.
Nice. Nice.
That's
yeah.
right.
Yeah.
Oh
Um,
yeah.
Well, we can get started with today's episode because there's probably a fair bit to talk about and get into. So, who would like to do the recap? Who's
Not it.
who's fit?
I'll do it.
Okay.
It's been a while.
Thank you.
All right. It is no rumor that we last we left off. V can't read, so let's check.
It's okay. It's an awkward sentence.
Yeah. We were in the mountains of absent light, confronting a shape-shifting monk who was capable of becoming a shadowy spider. We violently put her to rest, almost losing one of our own in the process. In the halls beyond, we discovered her prey, the explorer Calig Waxhelm, who told us all he had learned from the Vault of Beauty. We invited the refugees of the mountain to join our camp and journeyed back, saying goodbye to our giant friend upon the road.
And it is on that departure that we'll pick up with all of you journeying back away from the Valley of the Underleak and heading on the pathway toward your campsite. You are now accompanied by a group of the refugees. The other monks stay behind with the master, with intention to catch up later, if it is indeed what she would want. But with your small little group, Calig with you, you've just left the Valley of the Underleak, said goodbye to Largest, and you're returning back towards your campsite. The road there will take a little while to rest up on. It's going to at least take 1 night. Is there anything you guys do on your journey back?
We have like a boatload of magic items that
Yeah.
we need to go
Yeah.
through as our group still.
Yes, you
Yes,
do. Yes, you do.
Like multiple fights worth that we just like forgot to check.
I think so. Yeah.
Yes, you do.
So,
Mhm.
Well, that being said, let me find all those items. I think there are a fair few.
also, while Joe's doing that, Shane, you need to remember you have that lucky coin We could have that would have gotten rid of the like crit hits on those poisons if you'd used it and been successful.
Mm. That's the thing about magic items, man. You gotta make like post-it notes for them.
It's not attunement, so it just kind of disappears into the fucking pile.
I end up adding the ones that I'm attuned to in my abilities, so I don't forget.
All right.
Yeah, I have little sections.
It helps.
Well, then you currently have in description-wise, all the ones you got from the mountain. Am I missing any before that you didn't technically look into? I think you've looked into all of the other ones, right?
We did everything before we went to the mountain.
So you have an elixir.
I think it's just mountain stuff.
You have an elixir of some kind to look at. You have this little kind of box of like a little container that the bagling dropped, and a scroll. You have also a longsword, which has almost to describe it, it has almost kind of like an anchor-like end to its handle, to its hilt. But there's a longsword to look at. There's a crossbow to look at. And then there's a bag of little kind of shining pearls almost to look at. These are kind of spherical yellowish pearls. And then you also have a clasp that was on the Shadow Monk. What would you like to start with? You want to start with the elixir?
Yeah, just run down the list, right?
Yeah, let's do it.
Okay. To give you an idea, wait for him to put his headset on. Wait for him to tuck his hair behind his ears, put his glasses on.
Get his glasses on, get comfy, tuck in.
Hey Sam, we're just looking at magical items that you picked up.
Okay, cool.
All right. So, identifying them along the road. The first one you have, and if you remind you, elixirs the thing I took from BG3, which is a potion which, when you drink, it lasts until you take a long rest. They are the one that you've got when you identify it is an elixir of jumping. So you drink this, and you become under the effects of the jump spell for until you finish a long rest. To give you an idea as well, you might think, the jump spell, that's not a good one. But it did get boosted pretty heavily in the 2024 handbook. Let me find it. I'll see if it's actually on D&D Beyond that. It probably is. Might be easier than actually trying to find
I'll
my...
drop the elixir down on my side.
Okay. I'll tell you what
Awesome.
jump does now, because it's...
You touch a willing creature on each of its turns until the spell ends. That creature can jump up to 30 feet by only expending 10 feet of movement.
So essentially,
Wow.
the way to think of jump is you have 20 feet extra movement in the air. As in,
That's
as
good.
part of it. So if you have 30 feet movement right now, you're basically sacrificing 10 of that to get 30 feet extra, but 30 feet of that is jumping. So it's basically just increased movement speed for that duration, as long as 20 feet of it is 30 feet of it is jumping. So it's pretty strong. It's pretty good. So you have that to begin with, elixir of jumping. You also have a scroll of summon undead at 3rd level, which is the scroll that was found. And then you also have Champion's Salts. These are the first 3 things that drop from the bagling. Champion's Salts, until you finish a long rest, your crit threshold is 1 lower.
It's really good.
Yeah, you basically...
That's really
Like
good.
one-time use
Yes,
thing? Or?
one-time use.
I'll jot down all these like use items for us in my inventory for now.
Yeah, essentially, baglings at 50% health drop consumable items. And at 0%
I'll
health
cover
drop actual magical items.
How many uses of it?
1 each. One
Just
each. Of
one.
those,
One
yeah.
I would like the scroll if no one else is going to use it, obviously.
Sounds good to me.
Are you a wizard?
I just kind of
asking that
imagine
seriously?
Glasses up nose.
Like the scrolls go to the wizard, the potions, consumable stuff go to doctor until such time as there is a reason to decipher
Yes.
why any bit should go anywhere else.
If you get duplicates and stuff, it can be given for other people for sure.
Yes, Joe, it was a joke.
Yeah.
Sorry.
As
Sorry.
in, why wouldn't the wizard take the fucking scroll?
Sorry. I was slow today. I'm slow
Maybe
today.
somebody wants
Why?
some
Sorry,
reading
sorry.
before bed. I don't
Sorry.
know.
Dude, it's so dumb. They just fogged up instantly
Damn.
when I tried to drink coffee. This is stupid. What the hell?
That's why you got to wear them on the end of your nose, man. like a librarian.
Yeah. Like a real
yeah.
old person.
I tried to free pull my sugar because I was in a hurry, and I fucking
no.
like slipped, and there was so much sugar in this coffee.
I'm just drinking a Starbucks now. That's all.
Like half the cup is sugar. Yeah.
Nice.
Oh
Nice.
god.
Fuck.
Oh.
What of the magic items would you like to do first? Longsword, the crossbow, or the bag?
In order.
In
The
order.
longsword.
Yeah.
No, in reverse order.
Fuck, dude.
None of this means anything to me. Just
I already wrote down longsword.
I
You have
don't
to
know
do
why
that
I
one
asked
next.
All right.
Time's not for me. Just get over with.
The longsword
go.
of mooring. Who would like to?
Ooh.
I'd like to read that one out.
I will.
Nice.
These weapons, plural. This weapon
It's because it's part of a set.
is made of a dense iron and has the heavy property. You gain +1 bonus to attack and damage rolls you make with one of these weapons. Each time you hit a large or smaller creature with a melee attack using this weapon, that creature's movement speed is reduced by 5
damn.
feet until the end of their turn. So,
Oh, wow.
so it stacks.
Yeah.
Each time.
That's sick.
Yep. So if you hit it multiple times.
Very cool.
Yeah, you can see it's kind of almost got this anchor shape at the back. So you have that long sword.
Looks sick.
The crossbow is a split bolt crossbow.
Let's see. This crossbow was designed to splinter the bolts with a transmutation crystal centered on the end. This was likely used by a trickshot artist, and it has engravings of finery along its mahogany base. They seem to depict a grinning archer. You have a +1 bonus to attack and damage rolls made with this magic weapon. Trickshot. This bow has 4 charges and regains 1d4 charges back at dawn. You can expend one of the charges when firing the crossbow to cause it to splinter into 2.
Sick.
Target a second creature within 15 feet of your initial target and use the same attack roll to determine whether it hits either target. Both targets take the same initial damage from the crossbow. That's yummy.
That's fun.
That's fantastic.
yeah.
Critical trick shot.
Crit is crazy.
Yeah.
If you roll a critical strike when firing from this bow, you can splinter the arrow to hit a number of targets up to your proficiency bonus within
stop
30 feet of the
it.
initial target.
Wow.
That's huge.
That's
Roll
amazing.
one
Oh,
attack
you're
roll
using it.
instead of damage dice to determine the damage each creature takes.
I'm
That's
assuming
sick.
the critical trick
Yowza.
shot takes a charge, Joe.
Yes, it would be using one of the charges. Sorry, I should probably say that
Okay.
because you're basically expending a charge to do the same
Yeah,
thing.
because then that'd be crazy if we used like the
Right.
charge thing on it.
We just
drop
pin
your
Desmond
threshold
down. We
more.
pour like the lower crit modifier potion. As
Well,
Yeah.
that's you can still
Yeah.
use it with the charges of that way and get 4 of those if you manage to do it in a fight.
Damn.
Yeah,
Big AOE.
that's awesome.
Yeah, and then finally,
That's crazy.
Cool as heck.
this one's quite funny to me, and I'll explain why after you've read them. Here you go. Bag of Sundrops. I would also like someone, whoever reads this, to roll the 1d6 + 4 to see how many you get.
I just read it.
Who would like to read this one?
This small, colorful bag is filled with 1d6 + 4 golden marble-like orbs called Sundrops that glow softly when held. As an action, you can throw a Sundrop at a point or object within 30 feet. When you do, the orb explodes into a dazzling pillar of light that lasts for 10 minutes. The pillar is a 5-foot radius, 40-foot high cylinder of bright light centered on a point where the Sundrop shatters. The light is sunlight.
Cool. Pocket
So-
full of sunshine.
If you want to roll a 1d6
God damn
+ 4 to determine how many you got, I can explain why it's quite funny.
6.
Nice.
So that's
Oh,
6 total.
6
Yeah,
only.
yeah. But that's still good.
It's still
you
I
have
think I know why it's so fucking funny.
well, because the final boss that you guys just fought had a defect
shadowy.
essentially, which was if she starts her turn in sunlight, she can't do any of her teleportation.
God
Half her moves don't work, and she takes radiant damage at the start of every one of her turns. So when you guys rolled this for the bagling, I immediately sat back and went, "Oh shit, there goes my last boss." And then you guys didn't identify, and I was like, "Okay."
Didn't identify
I have an
it.
idea. We
So
should just
funny.
stop whatever we're doing as soon as we pick something up.
In
from
the
now on
future,
and
we need to be
immediately
like,
identify.
guys,
It's
Yeah,
just
yeah,
like
yeah.
so wild to be like, guys, slow down. I know that there's like a time limit.
No,
on what
no,
we're
it's
doing.
fair,
We
it's
should
fair.
Spend an hour
Yeah.
Learned a
looking
lesson
at
today.
these.
But I think you
Isn't
did take a short
healthy for
rest, right?
D&D, but will now benefit us in the future.
It's really only a minute, though.
I
It would've
will
been,
say
like,
this.
right?
What of identify?
Yeah. No,
Well, you
is
can
it 10
cast the
minutes?
spell,
I
do it
don't
in
know.
6 seconds.
Yeah.
Unless you don't do, you can do the 11 minutes or you can do the 6 seconds if you really think something might work. That's why there's a risk of that. But I mean, let's be honest. In a campaign about dark eldritchy creatures, I'm sure sunlight's going to come up again. So have no fear. I'm sure they will have some use.
Is that a hint?
I mean, the hint is this is called Sunforged.
I don't get it. What?
So those are the items you got, and then the final one you have is. Let me just double check to make sure. Okay, good. Yes. The one that you got off of her is the Clasp of Shadow's Web. Who would like to read this one?
I can read it.
All right, or you can.
I can read
Oh,
it.
you can. Anyone
read,
can read it.
yeah, you read the description
Thank
or the
you.
summary.
Rock, paper, scissors.
Also, this bitch almost killed me, so.
Yeah, that's true.
True. You should read it.
Mm-mm. This clasp emits wisps of shadow when worn. It depicts a spider gripping its legs around the wrist before locking in. The spider itself is shrouded in blackened night, as if staring into pitch darkness. Weaver of web, when wearing this bracelet, you are always under the effects of spider climb.
Wow.
Additionally, you are able to cast web a number of times equal to your proficiency bonus. You gain all uses back when you finish a long rest.
Nice.
You are unaffected by the difficult terrain caused by this spell or natural webbing of creatures. Embrace Arachnid. Once per long rest, you are able to transform yourself into a spider form.
Hey.
This unique form is
Wow.
shadowy in nature, and your DM will have the stat block for this creature. When you transform into this creature, you gain temporary HP equal to 2 times your level. You drop the form if you become bloodied or an hour passes. If you are capable of wild shape, you last as long in the form as your wild shape allows you to, and can cast this again with your wild shape feature.
That's just in
That's
case you guys ever
sick.
change into a druid at any point.
Yeah.
But I will also tell you this. When Desmond identifies this item, he finds that it is indeed cursed.
What? I can't believe it.
Oh.
What are the odds?
Cursed, sad face.
Yes. So those are the
Damn.
items you got.
Right. Fabulous.
And I do have the spider stat block, but you're going to have to attune to it to see it.
And
How bad
find out
could the curse
curses.
be,
No,
guys?
I'm not putting that shit on.
Take it off. It's fine.
No, like, give me a fucking
just
break.
Curse.
You
It's
just
fine.
if the curse sucks, you just take it off.
yeah,
it's easy.
What if
then
the
it goes
curse is
away.
that you can't take it off like in
Yeah, you
Minecraft?
just-
I
we
don't know.
cut off your
We'll figure it
arm.
out. We have a doctor in our party.
Yeah, we cut off your arm.
Can't do anything for curses.
You could put
I'm gonna be
you could
honest,
put an
that was my
arm
one
back
res
on.
ever by the looks
Yeah,
of
but-
things. Like,
you could sew someone's
Thank you,
arm
I
back on. I
appreciate you very
believe.
much.
no one go down. No one get
You've
cursed.
thread.
Don't
We're
bring upon
fine.
the ire of any dark creatures, because I
We're
have nothing
fine.
for you.
Okay. Is anyone taking anything else? Desmond crossbow. Anyone taking the sword?
Well, neither. No, that.
I mean, I'll take
crossbow's
this-
for
I'll take this
Desmond. Carlisle ain't taking anything here. I grabbed all. I'll carry all the consumable stuff.
Yeah.
Longsword Andy here.
Yes, alongside Andy.
I was carrying like 6 long swords on his back.
I
at
got
this
2.
point.
I have 2.
Pick
I have
one,
2.
shit.
I have 2.
You're not the fucking Witcher, okay? Like, pick a.
I am
sword.
now. I am now.
Yeah, she is now.
She's the
True.
bitcher, actually.
Nice, nice. Very
Good
cool.
one.
Very good.
Thank you, everybody.
I'm done.
Bow.
I'm done for the day.
Misogynist.
What? What do you mean?
So, with your items in tow, you would be spending the day wandering until camping for the night. It is going to take you one night and then the next portion of the day to get you to your camp. Is there anything you do when you settle down for the night to camp? With you currently as well, I should say there are. How many people with you? You've got Tarag, the orc who was the one running for food, who first introduced you. Rochelle, who is the half-elf in the group. Harold and the old man who's sickly and frail. Harren, his son. You have the Dryan, who's with you as well. Calig, and then that's it in your kind of entourage right now. you're all kind of traveling back together towards the camp.
Yeah, before we rest, I guess actually Androssa would have done it earlier, but whatever. She would send a message to Marin.
Okay. In sending spell?
Yes.
Okay.
Hello, dear. Absolutely, under no circumstances whatsoever are you to enter the Crystal Mirage without me. Do not figure it out and go in alone. That's it.
You'd hear in your mind back. Noted. I'm currently simply observing. My bigger worry is the Ruby Stretcher started to have a little more bug presence as of late. I can't say that.
I also, Joe, think I'd like to do a rumor check at this point. I'd
Okay.
like to see how that's.
Clarp check.
Yes,
Clarp
yes.
check, please.
Clarp check.
So you would check in, and you start flicking through to see images sent back to you. Clarb finds himself as still a bag in the corner of a bedroom. It seems like the person is staying in Kios is in a house of sorts. At first, you might think it's a tavern. Go ahead and give me a perception check. You're basically perceiving through him, and you're going to be taking in details that Clarb might miss.
28.
You see Kios is sat in the bed. And he's going through his spellbook. And you see him practicing small portions of reality magic, similar to what Androssa does. The kind of shunting of some items around the room, you can see them shatter as they don't move. And then in the corner of the room, you can see 2 dead bodies, poured with blood. And then you recognize that this room seems to have been closer to a bedroom than it is a tavern. And he's clearly resting in someone else's bed. He closes his book. He stands up, folds his hands behind his back, and walks over towards one of the windows of the room. You can hear rain is trickling down outside. In the real world, you can feel, or like the world closest to you, you can also feel this dark clouds are starting to come over, indicating that they're far but not totally too far away from you. You can hear the trickling of rain outside the window. And see it kind of hitting against the window shell itself. Its head turns down towards the bag, walks over towards Clark, leans down and picks up a small little medallion. Looks back out the window. Where are you? The medallion you make out to be a circular silver clasp. And in the center of it seems to be this emanating just almost like a little bit of shadow, similar to how you depict him. And he looks out the window and puts the clasp into a top little pocket of his kind of long winding robe. Sighs. And walks over towards the bed and lays his head down and begins resting.
Can I check in on Tack before we settle down for the night?
Yeah, do it.
Yeah, V would come check in on Tack.
I think Tack is you know when like you feel like there's been something awkward that's happened with like a friend or a group of friends.
Every
Tack
day.
is sort of behaving like there's this weird sort of invisible awkwardness. So it's probably sitting by themselves while everybody's camping.
We will just kind of silently come sit beside them.
Did you see?
See what?
What I look like?
I did.
Did they see?
I think some of them, yes. You are ashamed.
I don't think anyone's ever, except Chris, my parent. I don't think anyone's ever seen it. It feels very vulnerable, I guess. And I don't really know how to properly thank any of you for bringing me back, I guess.
No thanks is required. And I am sorry if being vulnerable feels uncomfortable.
I think this group of people knows too much about me.
What do you mean?
It's
You
not.
say
It's
like
it's not bad. It's not bad. It's well. It's It makes me feel like I've made an attempt to take down defenses, but this one wasn't. I didn't get to choose this. Does that
it
make
was
sense?
robbed from you. Yes, it does. I am more sorry for it now that I understand it better.
I guess if it's either some of you have seen me looking a bit more monstrous than usual, or I remain dead, then I guess this is the better outcome.
I saw nothing monstrous. Is that what you fear? Scaring us?
I don't think any of you would be scared of it. I do think it's different than what I portray.
Do you look at my... She's gonna like hold up her claws and think monstrous?
No. I think those are V's hands.
Then I have seen Tack. Truly.
Yeah. Thank you for talking to me.
Anytime. I hope you are okay. It was. The only scary thing was that we might not speak again.
I don't think I fully comprehend that I nearly died or did die, that I died. I think that'll take a while to grasp, but like I said, I appreciate that you wanted me back. Anyway, I should sleep.
Yes. Me too.
Good night.
Good night, Tech.
And I'll go sleep.
Does anyone do anything else?
Exit stage left.
You'll go to rest?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Each of you lies down to sleep with, I assume, Desmond on watch. Taking sentry, taking guard. Desmond watches over the group. You all pass into your dreams. I'm going to go around and ask each of you, what do you dream of on this night? Let's start with Tack. It can be fleeting. It could be a memory. It could be something that didn't happen, something, a worry, anything.
I think it's probably similar to one of those dreams where I don't know. If I'm gonna have a scary dream, it's a dream where there's a part that is terrifying that repeats itself.
Okay.
I think it's that kind of a thing where it's like it feels sort of normal, and then there's something that maybe isn't like fully formed, but there's just something about it that is scary or is like filled with some sort of dread, and I keep getting reset back to experience that over and over.
Okay. Do you know where it'd be? Or is it just more of a feeling?
They've been thinking about home a lot.
Okay.
So probably somewhere in Songress.
Okay. Morgaine, are you resting? And if so, what do you dream of?
Yeah, Morgaine's rest is not good. It's she's replaying the moment that the were spider mocked her words about fighting for the light. She like cut them off and killed them. And so I think that would be like the last thing she was thinking about before she fell asleep.
Okay. Carlisle.
Carlisle would be dreaming about a very old, dilapidated church in a nasty storm, a really bad blizzard.
V.
V would probably be dreaming about feelings of guilt, feelings of you're forgetting something, feelings of you're drifting too far from the path.
Okay. Does Desmond dream?
Of electric
Desmond?
sheep.
Doesn't dream, but he has a lot of time to just sit there and think about things coming up, and he is worried thinking about the Bay of Progress and realizing we are probably heading there soon. If he had a stomach, there would definitely be a not feeling
buddy.
in there at the moment, but he doesn't want to talk about it yet.
Now, elves can dream, even though you're in a meditative state. Isn't Drassa dreaming?
For sure. I think in the back of her head, when she can't figure something out, she'll stop thinking about it and let her kind of subconscious mind work on the problem while she goes about her day. And so when she sleeps, she just kind of is getting flashes of all of these bits that she knows, everything that's happened, and is trying to fit them all together so that she can figure out what's happening.
Okay. And as you all rest and you're all dreaming, each of you thinking of something else, Desmond, focus on what's to come, knowing that there's only going to be a few sleeps before you might be facing memories of the past. For the first time since you left the mountain, you see as Calig is sat there, keeps nearly drifting off but forcing himself to stay awake. And then he sits down, he leans into a comfortable position. I'll close my eyes for a moment, that's all. And he closes his eyes. You hear him, his grunts turn to soft whispers. You might not be thinking about it, Desmond, but then you see it. Blackened tendrils come from the mind of Calig.
Oh.
Like roads leading from his dreams towards those sleeping around. And you can see them. Physical tendrils seep into your friends' minds. This all happened in an instant.
Are any heading towards Carlisle? Is it everybody?
Yes. One heads towards Carlisle as well. And the moment it hits every single person in Dresser, it doesn't happen beyond your group. It's almost like it's seeking strength. V, Morgaine, tackling Dresser, not Carlisle, almost have this slight blockade. It's almost shield that it hits against. And you can see the magic in essence, almost this deep purple color holding in front of their minds as this darkness is trying to seep in. A Carlisle one does not hit a barrier and go straight in. Your reactions might be within seconds. However, for them, this feels a lot longer. Now, each of you will have to make saving throws. However, each of you has different defenses or weaknesses depending. In Dresser,
Yes.
you feel a presence trying to enter your dream. But something is holding it back. Another presence is almost pushing away from it. You can make a wisdom saving throw if you wish to try and allow the other creature to enter. Whatever is trying to come in here to communicate with you. You can do this because elves, for the longest time, have been one of the least corrupted beings beyond material manifestation of temptation, due to the fact that they can end their dreams rather quickly. They're in a meditative state. This makes elves very hard to manipulate in the unwaking world. So your DC will be lower. Your DC is only at 12, if you wish to let whatever entity is trying to get into your mind. But you can just allow the other entity to hold it back.
So I'm aware that that's what's happening. Like,
It is like
it's like a
hearing
lucid
someone
dream,
knocking
and
on
I'm
a door.
like, yeah.
Yeah, it's like hearing someone knocking
And I
on a
can
door.
feel that something's trying to
and
hold it
holding
back.
the door down.
Sure.
You can almost essentially open a window. However your brain manifests that.
I think she would want to figure out what's going on, so I think she would like try to, open the
Okay.
door, etc.
Wisdom saving throw, please.
Okay. 13.
The DC was 12, as I said. You managed to find a way to allow the creature to come in. However you manifest that is up to you. What current memory are you in? What current dream are you in? Because you said it was all fleeting memories of stuff you've done.
Yeah, I think she is probably in her dream. She is kind of sitting at a desk, like her library back home. And she just has kind of scrolls and parchments everywhere, and on it are like kind of bits of like spring with a question mark, and then like skinless one, and the drawing of the brand and stuff like that. And she's just sort of shuffling through them.
Then it is manifesting itself as the door to the room. The darkness is kind of holding it back against it.
Sure. And
you have this almost just window to the outside, which you can open up yourself, and you do. You know, whether you do mage hand or use some form of force, maybe you just use your hand in your dream. The window opens, and this shadow seeps in, lands on the floor around you like a fog, hugging the floor, and then rises up into a figure. It is like a humanoid figure without arms or legs, like a dress flowing to the floor, and where it ends, where the head should be, is just a shadowy blob. And you hear this vibration that translates into a soft-spoken voice. It starts out like... then it kind of translates and says, You are one of our people. You are Shelakai. They were once servants to me. Do seek power. Do seek greatness. You can see that in your dream, the book that you're working on, the things you're looking through, you start see filling with words. And it's like spells that don't make sense, but it seems like they go through all of the different levels. Higher, 5th level spells, 6th level spells, 7th level spells, 8th level spells, 9th, and even 10th. You can see just the power just emanating from the spell book in front of you. I offer this and more. The power in which I gave to the one you killed in the mountain would be but a taste of what I can offer to you if you serve.
She sits back and sort of looks up at it. I would hope that it would be substantially more than what you offered the one who we killed in the mountain. That was not really that much of a challenge, and it was pretty quick.
She was only granted a taste, a moment.
Mm-hmm.
To be a herald takes time.
She smiles. A herald. What do I have to do?
Allow me entry. I will be in the unwaking world of your mind. And as time goes, you will be granted power. And eventually, our causes will align. Anything you seek
Eventually
will be
they'll
yours.
align.
Eventually. I am far more patient than mortals are. I imagine your goals will come forth, and then mine.
Oh, so you'll give me everything that I want first. You'll just sort of wait around. And then once I'm satisfied, I need to herald you. Do the herald business.
Correct.
You know that our goals don't align now. None of them. Are you sure?
No. I do not know your mind. It is through our vessel that we are able to communicate. If you wish to become a herald, it will take a lot more than that.
Through your vessel that we're allowed to communicate.
It doesn't answer.
What vessel?
It stays silent.
That's a bit of a problem, isn't it? I think you can ask if I want power, if I want greatness. Really, what I like is knowledge. But already we're at an impasse.
Knowledge is power. And knowledge is just lost light in the dark. I can unshadow every bit of knowledge there has ever been. Everything lost to darkness. From this realm and realms beyond. I have done it before. I did not transform myself with that magic. I could give you that much power.
What exactly does being a herald entail?
In due time.
Here's the thing. I've got a very close friend who is quite good at contracts as part of his business, and this feels like not a very good deal for me. I need to allow you in, say yes, I'll be a herald. I don't know what any of that entails. I don't know how long that would happen for. I don't have any real assurances on anything. So, I think perhaps not for this moment. I'll have to think about it. Would I be able to reach you if I decide?
You know where I am. And it fades
True.
out the window. And your dream returns to fleeting moments. But that one moment there sticks with you. It's kind of a constant in the back of your mind to remember when you wake up. Tack.
Yup.
When yours tries to go against your mind, you can feel this presence and entity almost tries to get there. Desmond, you see as it tries to go to Tack, it recoils and goes straight back towards Intercalic. You're in
Interesting.
song rest, going over these moments. Feels like a nightmare's brewing. And then you see the very wall itself start to go almost flesh-like, and a being that pulls through like wallpaper stretching until it snaps and pulls into a full creature stood there. And you expect this kind of snapping sound, but it's just soft. Like marshmallow being kind of pulled from a tub. It's kind of this very quiet morphing until you see the changeling that you saw inside the alternative reality. I will not allow your mind to be invaded.
What's happening? What's trying to get in?
There is one that you journey in your party with, who is mine has been torn asunder as they try to pry into it. He is a unwilling vessel. For their
So it's
kind,
not-
yes?
It's not just that he knows stuff, it's that there's something living in him.
They want to know what he knows. They want to find out everything. But their kind are not mind readers. They are parasites. An unwilling host will sooner die often before they ever truly learn the depths of his knowledge. But if they do it
Do you
over
know
time,
what they are?
of course I do.
Can you tell me?
They are our ancient enemy. They're the ones we fought for countless years. They are creatures of darkness, children of greater three. They are essences of power, not made of flesh. So using the flesh of mortals to try and go about their wants and their needs. They seek out power.
They're always inside someone.
Not always.
They always need a vessel, or...
They do need one. And that takes time. Preparation. A willing host. But they are limited by the form in which they manifest. If they were to possess a rat, it would be a powerful rat, but only a rat. They seek greater forms to possess. They seek
Wait.
heralds.
Does that mean this thing is trying to get into everyone else?
They are not able to do it from here. The unwaking world comes with temptation. That's all they can do. They can't read your mind. They can't steal from you. Well, they can steal dreams, if they are close enough. Prior to me coming in here, there was one attached to your mind very briefly. Like a stranger riding at the back of a carriage, keeping to themselves.
Thank you for helping me.
It wasn't easy. But when your ally added that, and you see in the corner now, there is just almost this bubbling organic flesh. It's a whitish glob that just... It is like a bandage torn over the wound that it once left. It helped me grow a little stronger in here. I'll keep your mind free of them until you find true beauty.
Is beauty in the vault?
No.
Do you know where?
I am a discarded portion of her essence.
See.
I do not know where she is, only that her enemies are abound, and they are seeking servants. To what end I do not know. But it must be stopped. But know that if it isn't, your body will be protected. If apocalypse is to come, the vault will protect you as a child of beauty.
Wait, I'm so confused. Are we though?
You question it.
I don't know. I don't know. I don't.
We've evolved long beyond our beginnings. You are unique to who you are now. Your heritage does not matter beyond that. Only for when the time comes. If all else falls, we must maintain. And if a new world comes, we should be one of the first among it.
Are you hoping for an apocalypse?
I do not hope, but I ready. That much is still left with me, if I am not even whole.
I will look around the dream, stuck in this moment right before it becomes a nightmare. Can you help me wake up?
I can. But first, dream without fear. And you feel this kind of moment where you're still in the same room, but it turns from those nightmarish final days to the early days of it. And good memories start fleeting in. And you start to hear the laughter of people running outside. You can smell through the windows drifting food from the marketplace open up. Wake when you want to wake. Have nightmares no more. And it walks back towards the wall, emerges into it. V.
Hmm.
The entity trying to enter your mind, being withheld by another. Your DC is only a 12 to allow an entry.
Okay.
It's almost as if you have familiarity. Do you want to let it in?
Wisdom, said?
Yes. If
I
you
would
if
try
you want
to,
to
yeah.
let it in, yes.
I would try to. 6.
It tries to find its way through the barriers. But whatever other entity has attached itself to you blocks it out, stopping it. On this road, every time you try and take a different road down, it always pushes you back to the main one. You are not visited this night. Morgaine. Your one's a little different. As you have previously discussed, justice fends off the darkness that tries to enter. So the entity that's trying to enter into your mind, if you want that to happen, it's going to be a DC of 20.
If I want to let it in,
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
no.
Then
No,
easily,
Morgaine wouldn't.
if you are not helping it, you can easily kind of get this manifestation of you're listening to the last moments of Halada. You're self-doubting for a moment, and then you see this visage, however you depict. How do you imagine justice to look? Because that's how it would manifest in your mind.
I mean, the first time I saw justice, it was just I couldn't even make out silhouette. It was just a being of pure light, right? Because that's how she would interpret it anyway. I think it's the same thing. Yeah, it's just...
You would see this being of pure light as this darkness is trying to invade into the corners of it. A reminder of what you're kind of working towards and fighting for. And it kind of manifests a sword and just slices tendrils like you did back in Sigenbrat. Tendrils that are trying to reach into your mind, just cuts them. You see light just... and blanket your mind. Desmond, in this moment, this all happens in seconds to you, Desmond. So you'd see The tendril tried to get into Morgane to get pushed out. Carlisle, you don't have an entity trying to stop whatever's trying to enter into your mind. But you do have one that is trying to enter. That means no matter what, you have to make a wisdom saving throw with a DC of 18 to stop this from being able to enter your mind.
Okay.
If you wish to stop.
Well, I'm going to say this because of the setting of my dream. I'm imposing disadvantage
Okay.
on myself.
That's very fair.
That is a 10.
If you were anywhere else, you might have more control over your mind. But right now, you're distracted. You're self-weakened as your doubts, your insecurities, your past haunts you. And the entity that enters takes advantage of that. You see as the storm rages on, you hear voices in the storm. And you see this very just presence. It's not even manifest as a humanoid. It's like the storm is talking to you. You can hear it vibrating around the room you're in. Sweet little doctor. I know what you want. I know what you've lost. You hear it's crackling of the lightning going on. There's wind shattering against the windows. There's the doors slamming. Oh, the little doctor thinks it can save so many lives. And then you see, against the window, a dead, a body. And it smashes. And you can see as the doors break open and bodies just start rolling in. And they crawl towards you and then drop down on the ground in front of you. Sweet little doctor. Once you could have saved. Each body crawls up to you and then drops down dead.
Am I interpreting all of this as a nightmare, or am I still able to interpret that something wrong is happening here that is not just a bad dream?
It is. Give me a wisdom saving throw. Actually, I'm gonna see. I'm gonna just see how you're kind of interpreting it.
That's a 25 that time.
You're very aware. You can feel that there's an entity in your mind. This is not how your usual nightmare would go. You would see it differently. Something is tormenting you, and you can feel a presence talking to you.
I think, despite all of these things happening around him, it will never be the focus of his eyes in this room, because all he's staring at is a relic on a pile of rubble in the corner. And he's just gonna mumble, "Shows a real good spot to come in." I don't think he has a lot of fight in him to have a conversation in here. This is a bad spot.
You'd see the bodies kind of piling up around you. And each time one appears, you'd be taking 1 psychic damage. Your mind focusing. Every 6 seconds, one will appear. Unless you can somehow wake up. I'll say you've taken 2 psychic damage to begin with, before I first cut outside to ask Desmond, what are you up to?
So you said all of this was happening like instantly before I would even have time to react.
Everything that just happened to them, like how I described
Yeah,
it's pretty much happening.
Happened
Yeah,
right now.
that was about 6 seconds, even though 15 minutes passed in our time. So you can see it's, at the moment it's touched them, it feels longer for them. You are in the real world now. You're kind of stationary, looking as essentially Calig's mind is attached to all the others.
I believe the first person I would go to wake up would be Andrasa, since she's not exactly in a sleep, so she won't be as disoriented as if she was waking up.
Yep.
And shake her awake or up.
Andrasa, as you kind of repelled the being, you just took its offer in hand. It doesn't try to prevent you from waking up. You would wake up.
Okay.
Sure wake.
Desmond?
There's something bad. I don't know what's going on.
Can I see the
you
tendrils?
see tentacles?
Yes.
Yeah.
In fact,
Oh.
you would see each of them differently. You would see each one of them's manifested in different ways. You physically saw the magic, Desmond. The one, there's none going in towards Tech that's being repelled. The one towards V, that's trying to get into her mind, is red. It looks almost like blood, rippling in the air towards it. The one that was trying to enter into Morgane's mind is red, but it almost looks like breath, and it is striking fast, almost like a storm itself, trying to kind of enter in there, getting repelled, like wind blowing into a door. The one trying entering into Carlisle is this almost soft pink, and it weaves around and kind of almost creates like a halo around his head. You can see Carlisle in the real world is starting to froth.
Okay. Okay. I think as she's saying this, she's starting to try to shake Carlisle. He needs to wake up. He needs to wake up right now. So I'm right, like, Carlisle. And I'm just sort of shaking him. And then if that does nothing, she's going to crack him across the face.
Let me just check first. Carlisle, I just stood there, you're focusing on your dream. You're taking this pain without knowing. It's like almost helping evolve the pain to be even worse than it is, physically manifesting itself in the real world. Can you please roll a perception check to see if you hear Andrasa?
Okay. 28.
You do. You can hear their voices on the outside world. You can kind of get this outside dream feeling of them trying to wake you. If you would like to try and wake, it's a wisdom saving throw again. You have advantage now because you're hearing the real world, because you're hearing friends, allies.
Okay.
If you want to try and wake.
I think that for this setting and what is happening, it is difficult for Carlisle to pull himself away from what he's in.
Mm-hmm.
I think there would be a part of him that like just can't pull himself out of it yet. What is it you want? Because if you're going to make a deal, you're a little late.
I've already found another little doctor. I know you won't be tempted yet. But I'll stop this if you give me just a little room in this mine to join you.
I ain't making more with anyone.
Then I'll destroy your mind. And it continues. You feel another point of psychic damage go off as you see it kind of just trying to break you.
If it's like our turn again, and he's not responding, so I can see that V and Morgane are like rebuffing it, right?
Yes.
Like I can see that it's So okay, open to ideas, Master Desmond. Also, we need to maybe if we wake Kellig up, maybe that will help. And then I can see nothing around Tack, right?
Nothing around Tack.
So I'm gonna try to wake up Tack.
Yeah. Jolt Tack.
I wake up.
Oh.
Yeah.
Hello, dear. Big things happening. We need to try to wake everyone up, specifically Carlisle and Kellig.
You can see the same things
okay.
Injustice sees, by the way.
Oh, shit. Okay. Yeah. Tackle, hop up, and go to Calig, and try to shake him awake. I guess would be first thing.
Okay. I'm gonna roll to see if he wakes. His eyes show open. They look kind of a little bit bloodshot, and all of the tendrils go straight back in. All your dreams kind of almost pull back to where they were. For you specifically, Carlisle, you see as the bodies and the storm, even though it's incredibly loud outside, feels a lot quieter than it did. Kind of. What?
Are you okay?
No, I felt like I didn't sleep well at all. Oh, I didn't mean to go to sleep. Oh,
Do you know that something happens when you're asleep?
yeah, I used to quite a bit, but then I've been sleeping alone for a long time.
How long has this been happening for?
Since I escaped.
8 blessings.
8 blessings. Is that how long it's been?
Bloody hell.
I try to keep awake as much as I can if I'm around others.
Okay, we need to talk about this, I think.
Yes, we do.
Tack will try to wake up V and I keep almost calling you Marigold. What's that all about, Morgane?
New name.
So funny.
Tack made a nickname for Morgan.
Yeah, as long as they want to, they'll wake up because
Yeah.
there's nothing preventing them.
Mm-hmm.
If Carlisle looks rested, I think I would try to just sort of more gently kind of like wake him up as well.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
Yeah,
Carlisle,
they
you
wake up.
wake up with a little bit of kind of like saliva outside your lips, but it's been frothed. Your throat feels a little sore for a moment, but you kind of wake. A slight headache.
What's going on?
Are you all right, dear?
Well, I had a bad dream.
Yeah, I think we all
I'm
did.
gonna assume everyone's in the same boat, given you're all up.
It's looking like there might be another aspect to Calig's situation that we were not privy to.
Okay.
So,
I can rest elsewhere.
okay, Calig, from your perspective, this has been happening for blessings now. What on your end is happening?
It's like every time I try and sleep and dream, they ask me, like I get visited by people of the past and they all just torment me with question after question. They try and get me to tell them where their siblings are or their cousins. But I don't. I stay quiet. Sometimes they've hurt me. Often they just prevent me from sleeping, but the past few blessings, it's been quieter. I think the monks helped. I would drink tea, things to keep me resting longer. And I guess my mind has been pretty quiet of recent. But I didn't know it'd come back like that. I forgot. I think I became a little complacent with just what they gave me and what they would do in my sleep. So
It's all right, dear. I think potentially this is quite useful information. You said it happens. It doesn't. If you remove yourself and sleep alone. Everyone else is all right. Do you know how far away you need to be from someone?
I mean, I slept at the room at the end, and no one was in the next 2 rooms over, and people in the 3rd room over were fine.
Okay.
But it only really happened occasionally recently. I mean, I can always feel them there, but the tea always helped me dream of nothing. There's nothing to invade if you don't dream.
What was in that tea?
You have to ask the monks on that one. Some herb that they harvested. I just drank it. I didn't even like the taste of tea for the longest time. It grows on you.
I'll see what I can do about that tomorrow then.
I'm sorry if any of you got hurt. I'll stay up. Just keep me awake, okay?
We need to figure out how to deal with this. Because it's not caused by what he knows. What he knows is the catalyst for this thing invading. So how do we get it out?
Well, they think he knows where the rest of them are, right? He sees visions of people asking where their siblings are, where their cousins are. I wonder if the initial plan of modifying his memory will help with that, in that potentially they'll be able to, well, no, because they said they won't mind read us right, so wouldn't know that he doesn't know. I'll have to think about that. She just kind of trails off and is like doing mental calculations in her head.
Mm-hmm.
Right, well, I'll save that for later. Does anyone want to tell everybody what they dreamed about?
I was having normal dreams. Just felt like something wanted in, but something else stopped it.
Mm-hmm.
I assume you're asking Andrasa because something significant happened in yours.
Yeah, dog. You could say that. Well, in a sort of flattering light, I suppose, I was offered the position of a herald. That's quite nice, a recognition of my abilities and all of that.
From what?
Oh. Well, I would presume Shadow, dear. After all, they did say, oh, you're Shadow Kai. Your kind used to serve me. Also, Tidbit. And she looks slightly gossipy for a moment and then tries to, like, rein herself in a little bit. They did say that they didn't put themselves in that form. Which I figure we probably already knew, but it's nice to get a little bit of confirmation, right? Also, I would be given the power to do that, which sounds quite enticing if, I'm perfectly honest. Offered me power, greatness, neither of which I'm that interested in. I would be herald. I would have sort of everything that I wanted would happen, of course. And then I said, well, what would I have to do? Well, I would be told that when the time came, which I don't really love. And then, what else did he say? I think maybe that was sort of all the pertinent details. Oh, I said, what do I have to do? Right. Let them in. And just sort of, give over a corner of my mind. Anyway, I said, no, but I would think about it. Which seemed like the smartest thing to say to continue to get more information.
Okay.
I was not getting such a conversation about it. They kind of gave me the treatment of just magnifying one of the worst days of my life. So, I would say whatever deal they are trying to offer you, I can tell you right now that I got to see the other side of how they act.
I mean, I don't really want to be a herald, do I? I've got other things going on.
Are you all right, Carlisle?
Yeah, I'm fine.
It looked different. Right, Desmond? But Desmond didn't see that it looked different, right? The tendrils?
No, we saw it differently from each other.
You saw it differently from each other, yeah. Desmond just saw
He
pure
would look really
tendrils.
confused.
Yeah. The kind of puts her
You
hand
saw
awkwardly on
something.
Calig. It was sort of tendrils coming off of Calig. Awkwardly pats him.
That's why we woke him up.
Right, so
This
Carlisle,
thing was
yours
sort of
was like
reaching out to all of us.
a sort of soft pink kind of halo. And then for yours was red, unsurprisingly perhaps like blood. And then Morgaine, yours was also red, but sort of more like a storm, a sort of wind. Did I see... Oh, no, wait. And then Tech, there was nothing.
There's nothing with
There's nothing.
me.
Because it was already blocked at that point, right?
Is that...
By
yeah.
whatever entity it was in.
Desmond, did you see that as well? Tech, did you see that?
I did not know.
What did I don't know that we established because I immediately got up and woke up Calig.
Yeah, you would have seen only the one going towards, because you wouldn't be able to see the one going towards yourselves. You'd have seen the one going towards V, Morgaine, and Carlisle.
Were they colorful for me?
Yes, yeah.
Did I see what Andrasa saw?
Same as Andrasa.
I saw the same as you.
Nothing
Desmond-
interacted with me in my sleep.
Nothing at all.
No.
Something I was trying to.
Did something stop it, like in my situation? Felt like something stopped it.
Perhaps it did.
Tech, why did you have nothing going towards you? I didn't see anything, at any rate.
Ever since that, I struggle to call it a party, but the masquerade that we went to, I spoke to a sort of changeling-like creature. And I guess it's still, whatever it is still existing in my mind somewhere. It told me that it protected me, that it knew what it was, that they were natural enemies of some kind. Talked about it like it was a parasite. I asked if it would be looking for a vessel, if that's what it was trying to do. It said that they don't always have to have a vessel, but that they need them to act. I think was the implication. So potentially, if it was trying to make a deal with you and Drasa, it might have been hoping to prepare you as a vessel to use, or I don't know if Calig counts really, because he still acts of his own will, doesn't he? To me, vessel implies that you have some control over what you're housed in. Or maybe not.
I've never been offered any power. I mean, I suppose a little bit. They said they would help me out with things if you know, like solve all my problems and whatnot, if I just gave them the answers. But I don't think any of them wanted to use me as a vessel, which is...
They want to know what you know.
Yes.
Guess I'm
Desperately.
I'm not vessel worthy, which is both insulting and great news. If I sleep a little further away from you, although, I think it'll be beneficial.
I don't want you on your own.
I don't want to hurt any of you, though.
We can take shifts if something happens. Well,
Yes, dear.
we can keep each other safe. It's all right. But this is the sort of thing we need to know happens.
I'm sorry. I didn't really know if it still will. It's hard to tell if it was even real.
It's quite all right.
I'll stay awake. Whenever you get back to your place, maybe you can find a little spot for me. And I'll make... I don't know. We'll make it right.
Tell you what, I'll stay up with you.
He's gonna kind of sit upright and kind of fold his arms and try and stay awake.
Could we possibly, like, if I said that anybody who wanted to or would like want to contribute to it, if I said like, oh, some of us are gonna sort of spitball about how you would lure a thing like this out of Calig, could we make a roll to see if any of us have heard of a thing like this, or
like what do we know about like possessions and
all
that kind of like crap?
That would come down to Arcana checks, because it is in the nature of magic. So yeah, you could definitely make a kind of spitball Arcana check around the idea of like working together around the idea of
I assume
how you might come around.
I assume that Indrasa's Arcana check would be better than mine. Can I assist hers?
Yes, yeah, definitely. You can basically be there as a consultant almost to like bounce off the information. Yeah?
Okay. Okay. Ugh, terrible. 16.
Okay. It's not...
I guess she's more rattled than she thought.
It's not the fact that you don't have the answers. It might be that there's just too many potential ones. This is someone that is... The concept of a vessel is not necessarily something that is new. The ghosts have been possessing people in stories and in you know, the undead portions of the world, and for countless years. Mortals have always had their bodies used by other beings. So it's more that you're probably bouncing through a bunch of different ideas where, like, you know, if you harm the person enough, maybe that it will leave the vessel. You could potentially banish these creatures. You could potentially wipe their mind. You could potentially put blockades up, or there's magical items. There's so many options that could work. You just can't really come to a conclusive answer on what would work for this. This is essentially like... These beings represent much greater power. They're almost godlike in their nature. Even if they're kind of formless, It's not being possessed by a god. Sorry, it's not being possessed by a ghost. It's practically almost being possessed by a god. So it's more that you don't really have a conclusive answer, as opposed to not knowing at all. It's more one of those, hey, we're gonna have to try many things.
Oh, Tack would also, sorry, just really quick. Tack would also tell whoever was there, whoever was part of this conversation, that that the thing, the changeling thing that's in their brain believes that the changelings are like creatures of beauty.
Yes.
And I think Tack would say, like, Kios is convinced that they are of the skinless god. This changeling creature that is communicating with me believes that they're of beauty. I'm more want to believe that. However, I think we should consider the possibility that they are the same thing.
Right. Is there... I don't know. Have they somehow either been conflated, or we just think of them as... That's an
If no one really knows where beauty is or what they're doing.
Is there, Sorry, this seems like a stupid question, and therefore I hate myself for asking it, but I'm going to anyway, just to cover all of our bases. In your stories of changing history, dear, have you always been around? Have you always been in Hyloma, always on Velreath since the, dawn of time?
We were, in the stories, created after there were lots of other sorts of creatures living here. Humans specifically. A lot of the stories revolve around changelings reflecting the sort of, I guess, beauty in people, in the way that people behave, in the little things, the little behaviors. So no, we were created later. At least that's the story. The purpose, I think it would be very easy to say that it's been dramatized, but...
Sure. I just had a bit of a... What if they are the same, right? But no, that wouldn't work, would it? Because we know that beauty... Bollocks. In Drasa. When did someone last hear about Beauty's whereabouts? We knew that they were in the vault, sort of looks like Calig, and kind of everybody like trying to piece it together. It's just that I was just thinking, what if, Beauty had been captured, is in, I don't know, and then they flayed them. Became the skinless one, so they are the same, just a new incarnation. Probably pretty disgusting. They wouldn't do that.
How do we know the thing in your mind isn't just some sort of impersonation?
You don't.
Something you can trust, right?
I feel a kinship with it, but it could easily be manipulation. I don't know. It's hard to trust our minds currently, I suppose.
Morgaine,
Yes.
you have a sort of kinship with something.
I would more argue it's my faith.
What does it feel like? How do you trust?
It feels like I'm enveloped in light. As for trusting, well, it's never harmed me. I suppose. And as for the information we seek, well, perhaps we can knock on a vault. I don't see many other
Indeed.
options.
Very true.
All right. Yeah, that's exciting. I suppose we should finish trying to rest now, those of us who need it.
Okay.
If I just sort of think about it, can I sense anything like like we all had something kind of protecting us? Like, I don't know if I look inward. She's not good at any of that. I don't know why I'm even suggesting this, but I feel like she would try, but she would try like super hard, which would ruin it.
No. Give me a general intelligence check.
Okay.
I'll set the DC lower because it's not necessarily added to an ability check.
My thing looks wonky. Hang on. 16.
The more you think about it, the reason that you realize that you probably can't is specifically some of the words that they said to you, which is that they have power in the unwaking world. You don't technically have... It's not like you have a literal kind of growth on you physically. And it's not something that is in your mind reading it. It's more something that's attached to you, similar to how those were attached in Second Brat without the draining. It's more of just a kind of a passenger that rests in your dreams. Yeah.
Okay.
So you'll go back to rest?
Yeah.
Okay.
I guess so, yeah.
I'm going to take a level of exhaustion.
Yeah. Which, if you take precaution, if Calig will stay up as much as he can, if he's kept company and whatnot, you will be able to break away the exhaustion if you now complete another long rest, essentially fighting back Calig from falling asleep. But he will be now on 2 points of exhaustion if he does stay awake.
Can we like take shifts or something and like have like a system in place to try to wake people up?
I would say if you do that,
what would have been in that tea.
if you did do a kind of wake up thing, I'm going to give you all exhaustion points because that's going to be a case of waking up every 20 minutes because someone's waking up to stop you from a nightmare. It's going to be a lot of restless sleep.
That's fair. I just feel bad for
Do you
Callie.
have to sleep for a long rest?
You do have to sleep for a long rest. Yeah.
It's not for the whole thing though, right? It's like 4 hours or something?
6 of the 8 hours.
Okay.
Yeah. Basically leaves 2 hours for watch time. But 6 of the hours must be spent pretty much sleeping. Unless you're obviously like an elf. Elves only have to do 4.
Yeah, once I get a to get level 9 and I get greater restoration. We just don't need to let Calyx sleep ever again. I can just delete his exhaustion as it comes
Right.
up. Keep him zooted on fucking caffeine or some shit.
All right. Well, if you take these kind of
wondering-
turns doing it, yeah.
Sorry.
There you go.
I'm wondering if I could use suggestion. I don't think so, though.
Mm-hmm.
Do not fall asleep.
No, the opposite. I'm just like, you're going to have a nice restful sleep. Don't worry about it. Just go to sleep. But I don't think if suggesting him doesn't suggest the thing that's in his brain, you know? So
Yeah.
to like leave him
Well,
alone.
Let me see.
If only we had had that tea, we could like prestidigitate some water and then placebo affect him. Like, we've got the tea right here. Take a drink.
Hold on.
Oh, yeah. Could we just give him water and use suggestion and be like, it's the tea?
Placebo him.
Oh my god.
I have an idea, but
Yeah.
it would
Try
require
it.
us to
Yeah.
take a longer rest than normal.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What's your idea?
If I long rest as a warlock, I can intellect fortress Carlisle.
I know. I was
and
thinking about
him.
Intellect Fortress. I have it too.
It's 1 hour of concentration. I can then rest for that hour and just keep doing it for 7 hours until they've both rested. I can just maintain it.
I mean, I'm fine with 1 level of exhaustion. I'm not gonna kill him.
I could probably just get rid of it for you. If I just watch over you two as you sleep.
It would give you advantage on it, on the rolls.
Well,
If you
I mean,
want.
right now, like, for context, Carlisle does not want to sleep. This isn't like I'm
Yeah,
staying up out of
Yeah.
a nobility
Yeah,
of I'm
that's
going to take
valid.
this fall. He just doesn't want to.
Right.
Yeah.
Which is fair.
Then you will have the level of exhaustion.
Okay, shining it up.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, if you would like to do that, you can. Otherwise,
Well, if he doesn't want it, then no.
that's true. You can also do the suggestion method, potentially, because one thing about suggestion is it is magical. And so I would imagine that surpasses, like, it almost is convincing the mind itself to perform a certain way, similar to placebo, I guess. So I imagine that would work, yeah. And it lasts for 8 hours, so. The only thing that would be different about that is you won't be able to concentrate while you sleep.
Right.
So you would have to stay up yourself. But you could technically give him a soundless sleep.
I'm really curious to see if it'll work, but if Carlisle's gonna stay up anyway, I'll keep it in my pocket for now.
Okay. Yeah. Caleb would sit a little away from the group and just kind of sit alongside Carlisle. Probably making a lot of small talk to keep awake throughout the night.
Carlisle's gonna pull out like a deck of cards. He's got games. He's got all kinds of campfire games.
He would kind of break into just conversations of just very kind of, as you said, like very surface level conversation. Excited to see decks of cards. He probably hasn't played them in genuinely years due to being in a mountain filled with darkness. He would say to you, great, I have all these games from back home. Have you ever played Dwarven Reach? And he kind of shows you how to play different games and you distract each other for the hours. You know that you're both tired. You know that you both feel exhausted, but that's for tomorrow's business. And by the time the sun is rising and everyone is waking up, it is a fresh new day. You're only a couple hours out from your actual campsite, from where you've camped, between here and the Valley of the Underleak. So you would be able to reach there probably by very early afternoon. If you were to head out in the morning. If that is your plan. New music.
Yeah, I think so.
Then, when the Sunforged turns on in the morning, the light of it kind of ripples out and kind of wakes you. You'd be able to kind of set out early. A lot of the campsite who didn't wake up from the antics that happened the night before kind of well rested, putting their packs on, unknown to it. As you were waking up, you'd look to your side and you would see as Carlisle and kind of Calic have probably just finished up their 40th game of cards, a little bit bored of it now, shuffling, going, okay, well, probably should put this away. And you get someone carries his things, puts his kind of clothing back on and wraps himself up and joins the group again. Are you all heading back to the campsite?
Yeah.
In which case, you would eventually, after the several hours of wandering, arrive back in the kind of familiar grounds of your campsite. You'd see as all the tents are set up as you left them. Vandervol's building is open. They've got people kind of passing in and out, and the results of everything you guys had kind of left behind you in terms of your Bastion rounds kind of going off. You would see in the campgrounds a few more people have actually joined. There's a few more tents. It's actually grown in size. But before we dive into the camp, let's go ahead and take our break there. That way we can come back and see what you guys do in your campsite before shooting off to wherever you want to go next. All right. We'll see you guys in 5. So, bring it back. And then for you, chat, let me just quickly... I'll do an ad pushback if one hasn't gone off recently. So you guys don't get hit by ads for the last portions, if I can. Alright, let me push back a 3-minute ad break. I'll do a minute one because it's already pushed back fairly far. Okay. Let me double check everyone's back. Yeah. All right, we're going to unmute chat. Okay, welcome back, everyone. All right. Oh, where's this down? Okay, welcome back, everyone. How we doing? We just left off with you guys returning to camp for the first time. There's a bunch to do around the camp now because you have many options. You're bringing in the refugees coming inside. You've technically kind of completed your parallel campsite to Marigold. So view this as that moment in a game where you can come back and have all the conversations, because you've essentially got all of your Bastion stuff has gone off. So anyone that commissioned anything, that has now kind of, you're here, so you can go and engage with it. You have all of the different NPCs to talk to, such as Vander, Abigail, anyone who might be in the campsite itself. Yeah, I guess you're free to do whatever you want to do first. If you want to go towards one of the characters here, or if you want to go and deal with each of your Bastion stuff and just see what you've learned from each of those, or what you've got out of each of those. You technically did do the maintain action for this week, so for the next 6 days or so, that's still going to be going until you commission the next one after 6 days. So, yeah, what would you like to do first? As a kind of a crew, or are you splitting off? What do you want to do?
Just before we start that, I would have learned the summon undead as we were coming back.
Okay. Yeah.
Just to say it out loud.
Sounds good. So.
Should we tell Abigail and Spring everything? And
yeah,
yeah,
sure.
Also bring up the fact to Abigail that Spring knew the fucking password for the monastery.
Yeah. Also,
Yeah.
see if she can help. What's his face?
Calig.
Calig.
Yeah.
And then
Yeah,
we should
for
probably
sure.
get the all hands on deck for the refugees in the camp.
Mhm.
Just
For
get
sure.
a place to stay and stuff.
Good idea.
Okay. So you can head over towards the familiar tent of Spring and Abigail.
I think if we swing by Salandro first, we can just tell him to find a place for everybody else, right? So they don't have to
Yeah,
just
true.
aimlessly wander.
Good idea.
So we'll just pop in
Yes.
and ask him to do that.
Yeah, you'd see him kind of sat in the kind of archive area where you've left him, and he looks up to you. Yes, yeah. New people, we've actually had a few more come from the road itself, refugees from different portions who have just joined up.
Oh. Excellent. I assume that you are keeping a full roster and list of everyone's contributions, what they can do, etc. Correct?
I did not realize I was the mayor of this campsite.
Did you? Dear, you're already sort of administrative, aren't you? Come on.
I was administrator over a town that was being consumed
It's
by...
You also were not very good at it, but look at it this way. This is your chance to do better. And she just sort of kind of turns around like he's obviously going to do it.
Wild.
Right, of course.
Crazy.
Of course.
You don't have to
Funny.
worry about
But,
this
like,
anymore,
not
little sis,
wrong,
dude. You need to
like,
chill.
You're just kind of saying, how silly of me for not starting a roster sooner.
Oh,
I'll get right on
poor
that.
guy.
I'm sorry, Slid.
Yeah, he just sits back in his chair. You can see he harbors a little bit of a distaste for it, but he wouldn't jump to it right now.
Sure.
It's like, I'm here every day in the trenches.
Yeah. You don't know.
Dear,
what
I
you're
put you in an
doing.
arcane study. You're not doing that much. Come on.
But then you could head over towards the tent with Spring and Abigail. Are you bringing him with you, or are you gonna go and approach her first?
Maybe approach first.
Yes.
Because what if she says some like really bad news about him, like, oh, he has to die? Like,
I think also Indrasa would be like, if he's potentially a vessel adjacent, sort of,
Maybe not near
everything came
spring.
from him. Right, maybe let's not have them interact just in case. I mean, they say that they can't just sit in a corner of our minds without us sort of letting them in, but also they probably lie quite a bit, right? Let's not take a chance.
I'm sure Abigail will appreciate this precaution as well.
Then yeah, you can head over there without them. Inside of the kind of tent, you can see it's kind of a little broader on the inside. You can hear Abigail kind of getting a little bit frustrated. No, that's not how it's cast. You need to make sure you're doing the hand symbols at the same time. You see Spring is kind of sat there, and she smiles and, as you kind of all entering, says, "They're back. You've been saying that for the past turns. If we master dancing lights, you must master the somatic components as well as everything else. It's the part of magic that you need to fundamentally understand if you're going to get better at it." She turns towards all of you. "All right, what news?" And in the background, you just see Spring smile and dancing lights just appear without any components and then fade. Abigail just kind of turns her hands behind her back, scratches a little scar on her lip, and looks at all of you and goes, "Did you find him? Did you do all right?"
Yes, we found him.
"Dead, I presume?"
No,
Oh, well,
we've brought
that's
him back with
unfortunate.
us.
Good. Or did he know?
Potentially not so good. Well, not bad, but I think we should just set everything in order.
If
Yeah,
you
I
wanna-
guess. Is there anything that we wouldn't want to tell her?
Yeah, if you want to go blah and then tell me
Good
the stuff you wouldn't say.
question.
I don't
Oh,
know if there's
man.
much because I don't remember at any point where we're like, ooh, with that we omit at any point.
Yeah.
during
Yeah, I
what's
don't think
happened
so.
lately.
I feel
I
like
don't think so.
it's worth asking each time because we know that
Yeah.
Abigail is like, if something's gonna happen to Spring, I will scorch
Yes.
earth.
Yeah,
So
for
Yeah.
sure, right?
feels like eventually we might have to edit shit with her.
Yes.
Yeah,
We don't yet have reason to, but
Yeah.
I don't think so.
yeah, so tell her about the vaults,
Mhm.
how they are containing things, and some of them were successful and some of them were not, right?
Yeah.
Tell them how each vault
primary
has a
function.
purpose. Yeah, tell them that we know Beauty's purpose seems like a failsafe for the apocalypse. It held organic material in the case that the apocalypse does happen. Is there anything
The
else?
timeline on it all, and then
Yeah.
I think tell her about the dreams, right?
The tendrils and the entities. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Once you're kind of done speaking, she takes a second to think about it. Huh.
Does Spring react at all as we're telling all of this? Like, does she?
Good question.
She looks. She's very emotionally obvious. So at points of where you're discussing adventure, she's excited, and then when you discuss moments of sadness and tension, her
Like a
face goes
kid.
very- yeah, exactly. Yeah, she's got a very kind
Mm-hmm.
of very open mind to just kind of being very easy to read.
Mm.
Abigail, though, is straight faced through the whole thing. So the vaults each have a purpose.
Mm.
Well,
Mhm.
I imagine then we'd want to discover which each of them are, and perhaps that would give us some clue of how to help Spring.
Yes, and we were, of course, already headed towards Design, who it seems like is still there, and perhaps will answer questions for us, or try to kill us, I guess, if they
Yes,
don't like
be
us.
cautious. These things are beyond us.
Yes.
They... Just because one thing represents the light doesn't mean it represents good. It represents its purpose it was made for, which is design. What if it chooses that you are not part of its design? You have to be cautious around these beings, as if you're coming across anything that is otherworldly.
Speaking of otherworldly,
Yes.
we required a password at the monastery to get in, and it was the exact phrase that Spring had told us prior to leaving.
Springer. She kind of turns and goes, she has certainly become more self-aware of her premonitions and power recently. Albeit, when I try to talk to her about it, she doesn't really want to give much off. I imagine this is your rebellious stage, and I'm looking forward to when you mature out of it. And Spring just kind of rolls her eyes back at the room. And Abigail looks towards all of you and nods her head and says, I'm not surprised. She's produced power. When her veins glow, there's times where I feel like she's about to cast spells which are, well, would draw all of the wrong kind of attention. But then she stops herself. It's as if she can weave through cantrips as quickly as she can weave through 7th level. It is immense, but at the same time, she doesn't really follow through with it. I'm sorry to speak about you in third person, my dear, but she is very aware of her power now. They're not really aware where she got it from. I'm still trying to restore her memory. We've broken down some portions of it. She is older than I thought. A lot older.
No.
She brings up things like the setting, even the age of twilight, as if it's
All right.
just like when we nostalgically remember having our first glass of wine as a child, or our first day in court. She brings up memories of times which should be way past her. I don't even know if
Above
she was
board.
her.
How many hundreds of years are we talking here?
The age of twilight.
Like,
Yeah,
If you have your, because you'll have this in your Sunforged.
I have the thing open right now.
It is a time before documented time. This is before. This is after the first dawn, and before the setting. The setting is, to give you an idea, this is when, in Valreath, for example, when Wolfguard first broke off from the land, like the land itself sundered. This is when the Age of Twilight, I would say, is somewhere between probably about 3,000 years ago, potentially.
Holy shit. Okay.
Okay. So we're not
2 to 3
saying
days.
she's hundreds of years old. We're saying
She's
thousands of years old. Okay. Cool. That's chill.
Holy
And
moly.
she says-
Okay.
But it could be that she wasn't her then. Like she's almost
sure.
reincarnated. She doesn't really know.
Or a vassal.
Hmm.
But for who?
If she has premonitions of the future, could she also be tapping into the past? Maybe times that she wasn't actually there for.
That's a solid theory. I didn't think about that. That is true. It could be that she just connects to others, like, as if. I mean, something I thought about is it that she sees the future, or is it that she sees memories of other people? Almost, you know, she seems to herself. When she talks about things, it's almost like she's there, and I'm not sure how she's capable of that. So it could be that she is young, but has the ability to reach any memory.
I think Andrasa would have kind of sat down next to Spring while everyone's talking. Just sort of look at her and say, the password was quite helpful, dear. Thank you very much for that.
Yes.
Maybe next time, though. give us a warning about a lady who turns into a spider and then stabs Carlisle, yeah?
I didn't know about that.
Maybe you can try to, well, I don't know how you do it right, but sort of maybe think about those possibilities as well next time, dear. That was quite exciting.
It is more like, I don't know, it comes to me when it needs to come to me. I'm not withholding anything.
Oh, no, I wasn't. I didn't mean to suggest that, dear. I wasn't at all. It was just, it was quite alarming. And so, sort of, I don't know how you do it, right? But if you hear anything, see anything like that, maybe give us a little heads up.
As long as you stay on our side.
Of course.
Hmm.
And Drassa looks like genuinely puzzled, like, duh.
This one who has the others visiting him. I would like to see him. Abigail shakes her head. No.
Oh boy.
May I ask why you would like to see him? And I don't want to... Yeah, I know what it's like when people sort of talk about you and make decisions for you, right? And you feel quite capable of making your own decisions. So I certainly am not trying to ever do that to you. And if I do, absolutely call me out on it. But I think we worried that what if he does have a passenger and they see you? And it would put you in quite a bit of danger. So we thought it might be best to keep you apart.
It is not the first time they would have tried.
I know, but
Abigail kind of tells me.
What? What?
What do you mean by that? Well, you know how those siblings and cousins are of each other. They always just try to attach themselves to things that don't want them there.
Indeed. I had an older brother. I have an older brother. And I don't like him very much. He's quite down now. But when we were children, he would do this thing where I sort of take my finger and I put it right next to her. And he would say, I'm not touching you. I'm not touching you. He would just leave his finger right there. It was so irritating. So, siblings can be quite a lot, can't they?
They can. And I imagine this is the most dysfunctional of all of the families. They have been at each other's throats for so long.
When you say they, to be specific, the children of the three.
Is that what they are called? I don't know. They just feel unwanted and dark to me. Like the absence of happiness. Trying to latch yourself to people that have too much of it. Or perhaps too much want of it. Abigail folds her arms. And how would you know about this? I don't know. I just remember it being familiar. I'd like to speak to him. No. No. If they attach themselves to you, and
Spring, perhaps we can ask questions that you have to Calic. Deliver the answers to you. Compromise.
Yes, dear. It was quite alarming when we first met, and you were in the situation you were in, and I would quite hate to see something like that happen again.
oh, well, if he needs to see me, he can. Maybe I can get rid of it. Abigail kind of...
I want an insight check.
You can?
I want an insight check to see if she actually believes she can get rid of it.
I imagine she does, but we'll see. Childlike
Yeah, you
wonder.
can roll, yeah.
And
With a 6, she is one of those... She's so open booked that it's
Too hard to read.
difficult to read because you're like... Is she open
Does it
book about
come across
everything? And then
as, like,
yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Lucid.
Yes,
almost?
exactly.
Yeah.
This could also be like a case of what if she believes it, but she's totally wrong about her own ability.
Yeah. Naivety.
Yeah. Abigail shakes her head and says, I also have an idea. One that performs less risk. I'm quite good at modifying memories. Instead of just simply
Yes.
reading the information, what if I change it? What if I give him something to give to them? But the wrong information. That way they hunt, they leave him alone, and they hunt for that.
Well, I would say he's suffering greatly currently with the information he does have.
There's always the
Yes.
potential of wiping him entirely. If that is safer, we can do that. Have him a fresh start.
I think the sort of unknown about wiping his memory completely, right, is where they just keep trying. I don't know that they would be able to tell if he doesn't actually remember, right? So
Spring
that
rubs her
wouldn't
head and
necess-
says, No, that would hurt, I think. As someone who has only recently been getting their mind back. I don't imagine what it would be like for someone who cannot regrow it as fast. There we
How
go.
difficult would it be to just modify a specific memory, perhaps the one they're seeking?
I'm capable of doing that. It would mean finding the exact one and basically just changing it. Even the base spell of it can do that. I don't have
Would
to-
you see this memory? Would you know what it is?
Yes. When I,
sorry, go ahead.
as long as I can detect his thoughts first, I can then go back and do it. It's an alternative
Right.
version of modified memory. One
Look,
that has a lot
could
more
you-
capabilities.
What if you could help somehow?
My only hesitation is Calix said that he feared sharing this information because it would make all of us targets. If Abigail learns this information, she is a target in close proximity to Spring, no?
Well, have you not already learned the information?
No.
Well, I mean, we do know what he learned in the vault, right?
Do we know everything?
I don't know that we know everything, right? We
I
know
don't
what
think
he
he's
told
given us all
us.
the specific.
Then we wipe
were,
it entirely.
Of course.
Yeah,
you know,
I would rather race
visited
against
in our
them.
dreams.
I'd rather race against them than we rely on one dwarf to not give up information.
Maybe the compromise would be, well, we wipe the last 8 blessings.
Mm-hmm.
That is more
Why don't
difficult.
we, sorry, this is rather drab, but why don't we just ask him what he wants?
Right. He did seem amenable to having the memories wiped, which I'd offered as a potential solution. I think it's obviously causing him, quite a lot of stress, to say the least.
Some will come back in time. That is the nature of the spell. The broader you are with it, the more likely it's going to come back. But the more precise you are with it, the more you can remove the memory. It's easier to remove a day or two than it is to remove an entire life.
Perhaps just the day of the vault. I mean, that is when he thinks this came to ail him, in the way that it does.
I will not get rid of them from trying to get into his mind, but perhaps they will realize he has nothing to give them. And you truly believe I should not learn it first? What if it can be used as a weapon? If he's a step ahead of them, so should we be.
And if the entities try to enter your brain, then what?
You could become a far more dangerous pawn, honestly.
There is something to what Abigail's saying, though, right? We know what he remembered consciously to tell us, or what he chose to tell us. Maybe he remembered more and specifically left things out, although he seemed to think he didn't, right?
Yeah, searching his
It's
mind would be
better-
nice.
To know and to be able to prepare, is it not, than to sort of swing round blindly?
I put the decision in your hands. It is rather we are one step ahead or we are on equal terms. The best bit of information you brought to us is if they're trying to whittle the information out of him, it means they don't have it yet. It means they don't know where one another are. We're on equal footing to them, if not one step ahead, as you know where the vaults are.
Hmm.
Is it... Sorry, go ahead, dear.
I was just going to say, back in the Vault of Strife, we were told they do not... Why are they seeking each other, I guess, is my question. They are not typically allied, it sounded like, unless cornered, I suppose.
I've had a theory. This is, as Spring rightly said, a dysfunctional family. They represent quite barbaric means. Rage, blood, nightmares, desire. These are things which we see as sinful. Things that we see as kind of the worst portions of ourselves. Albeit blood is a little bit more specifically organic. But I imagine in terms of the creatures that come from that. These are dangerous notions. I don't imagine they see themselves in a world where each one of them is ruling in tandem. I imagine they're competing to see who can be above. Their parents, the three, ever since victory struck down Anguish, have been essentially non-existent in our worlds, beyond concepts. Therefore, I imagine each one of them is trying to pine for power above the rest. If that is the case, who better to compete against each other? But that might mean making alliances. Some of them are cousins, some of them are brothers and sisters. Perhaps it is a case of the brothers are seeking each other out, and the cousins are looking to compete. Or maybe even vice versa, perhaps cousin and cousin are becoming friends. But I imagine this is a case of they know the time is coming.
The enemy of my enemy.
Precisely.
Right. I also think it's interesting that, Nightmare, right, approached all of us, right?
Indeed.
But the rest only approached one of us. So are they, if they approached us all at the same time, working together, Nightmare on their own? Are they, if you were working together, do you know what I'm saying? Why wouldn't they sort of come to us all at once and be like, hello, the Cigs, here's what we're proposing. Do they not want the others to know or something?
And if they are, as Tax said, essence needing vessels, then I imagine it is a case of finding the right vessel. Like a favorite toy. If they have not possessed this dwarf, that means he's too weak. Perhaps they are looking for stronger mortals. They're limited by the form that they go into. If that is the case, then I imagine each one of them seeks out something. If you were offered that way as a herald, Andrasta, then they are each seeking powerful beings to inhabit, or at least share power to. So they might have some sort of presence in the world.
It explains why some of us are being propositioned.
Precisely.
Yes.
Because you, I'm afraid, are wanted goods. If they don't read your minds, they at least know some of your triumphs. And so far, how many people around this land can say that they've stood against, well, in this regard right now, may have been an early herald, but a herald of shadow. Not only survived, but killed it.
Okay, so returning back to Calig,
Mm-hmm.
if I found the memory, would there be a way for me to guide you to it without you expressly knowing it?
That could be done. But then that puts you in the firing line.
There's something that kept it from even getting to me. I might be the safest person to see it.
Yes, I think that is a fair point, right? I know I certainly felt something sort of holding Shadow at bay. Of course, I decided to let it in if everyone is somehow shielded. Perhaps it is safe-ish for us to know, or safer than someone who's not.
Then that's probably the best course of action.
We'll do as Morgaine suggested. We'll be upfront with him. We'll tell him exactly what we plan to do and see.
And let's say we come to a decision here. If we need to, would you prefer to wipe his mind or change the memory?
I think we ask him.
Right. I'll come with you then. Spring, stay here. Don't leave the tent. And she wanders out with you to try and help find him. He'd be probably sat away, like splashing his face with water, like rubbing his face and eyes, trying to make sure he stays awake.
Morgaine will keep Spring company. Morgaine will stay.
Okay.
She just sits down on the floor.
Spring will just kind of look to you and say, "You see with magic, that is a rare gift.
Yeah, sometimes it's a gift.
Oh, it should always be a gift. You see the world as it truly is."
Well, I'm afraid cracks in the pavement aren't made of magic.
That's true. That's true. But everyone sees the cracks in the pavement. I don't know anyone who sees everything else. That makes you unique.
Suppose it does. I guess we're both quite unique.
I suppose that, yeah. And you can see she casts like illusion spells to kind of give you her form exactly how she sees it, so you can actually talk to someone that you can physically manifest. In fact, she probably turns the entire room
so
into
sweet.
an illusion.
Oh, what the fuck? That's so sweet.
Meanwhile, though, Abigail would approach into your group, where Calig is kind of over towards. He's washing his face. He kind of looks on this. I thought I'd probably sleep down there. It's a bit away from everyone. I have like I'll set up some bells or something to make sure that if anything tries to drag me off, you'll hear them.
Actually, the dog.
I don't want to ruin the dog's sleep.
No, it doesn't sleep. It'd be fine.
Okay.
I may have a solution as well.
Eh?
I can make a chrysalis nest of sorts, and I've never used it on anyone else, but it doesn't say anything about just me having to be in it. It would make it so you would only need to rest 4 hours, and if something damages it, you would wake up, except mental.
Oh, I like that.
Mm.
Okay. Is it sticky or comfortable?
Comfortable.
Okay.
Of course.
Okay. Just
Not
making sure.
sticky.
I don't like the idea of being.
Why would it be sticky?
I'm imagining a spider's web.
I'm not a spider.
I know. I didn't realize. I'm sorry.
It is fine.
Okay. Abigail kind of. All right. Let's get this over with. Come on.
Calig, this is Abigail. She's the person we spoke of who can potentially modify your memories. Or take them. We wanted to give you the option. We could, well, correct me if I'm wrong, Abigail, we could take away the last few years. We could take away or change just that memory.
If I take away more, it might slowly trickle back, but it will feel a little bit more blanketed. If I take away that specific memory, you might still be disturbed in your sleep. Until they realize you know nothing. But if I can replace it with a bit of bait, and you can let them in and see that. Or I could even replace it with essentially letting them know. A false memory of simply someone telling them that memory is gone. But that would be a memory that you have. He nods his head. I'd rather forget. I don't know. Part of me wants to forget everyone that went into that place, so that I don't have to grieve them anymore. But then, I don't want to forget my friends. And then what if you remove a memory and then I get the temptation to go back there? Because it's like this thing, trying to find something that's lost. Well, in that case, changing it is better. That way you don't realize anything's lost. Okay?
So, if we're going to change it, Kellig, we discussed what we had talked about before, which is that you're concerned that if any of us know what you know explicitly, that we would then become targets for whatever this thing is.
I mean, I already told you enough to make you a target. But I saw something. Something otherworldly. And I think if you see that, that's what made my mind open.
I have to help Abigail find this memory.
What if you, what if we didn't see it, but you rather just described it? Perhaps it wouldn't be the same, and our minds would not be opened, but we would have the information, or more information.
I don't know. You can't describe it. It's not really something that's... I don't know. It's like the world itself was made of... like it was alive. Like a portion of my eye was just seeing something that wasn't really there. I don't...
Okay.
It's just kind of like hands going to his head. Yes, I imagine he's had a similar experience to all of you did in the first vault. Though imagine a far more direct one.
Yes.
Which is interesting. Each of you described yourselves as having the chance to allow something in.
Yes.
And that was upon seeing just a servant. I imagine he's seen more.
Do you think the thing we let in is the reason some of us were able to stave off these tendrils from Calais?
I think that's a smart conclusion to make. Well, if you go into that mind and you see whatever it is, there's a chance that you will have to fend it off. If this is the case, then it seems like whatever it saw is connected to all of them.
Right. Well, I think both Morgaine and I can help with that a bit. Above board Intellect Fortress. On you, on Abigail, on Callig, on whoever.
Anything, yeah, I think anything that can be done to fortify our minds would be helpful.
And that's true.
Cool.
What's your plan?
Whatever, brain fortress, whatever the shit
Yeah, intellect fortress. Yeah.
on us, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And Tack will detect thoughts on Calig, and I guess have him make the wisdom save to let me delve deeper.
Yeah, he allows it. He doesn't resist. He allows you to delve deep.
And would try to find the exact moment that he's talking about. I don't know how to relay, what magic-y terms to use to relay that to Abigail.
Oh no, that wouldn't. Never mind, it won't work.
Of like where in his mind to find this memory, right? I'm essentially creating a map, but like a nondescript Metroidvania map where you're like, I know the room, I just can't see what's in the room.
She places a hand on him and starts going through as well, to modify the memory. You are, in this moment, seeing through his eyes. You see the vault. It's similar to the one with death, but they're created to be far more radiant. It is like the walls and the ceilings themselves are lit up. You can see artwork that forms on the walls of just all different star formation and worlds. It's like it's almost taken in information of these countless portions of art. Beautiful in its design. Statues that appear out of the walls of marble and wood before forming and changing. It's almost like the very vault itself is alive with just this kind of beautiful energy. And as you delve further in, and he's trying to remember, he's trying to build up this courage to get to the memory. He remembers walking up to the light room. He turns it on. And when it communicates the word successful, which you can see almost how his brain works it out, and you can hear him saying successful, but all you're seeing is a series of lights. An image begins to appear to show what he saw in those vaults. And then ahead of you, the changeling appears. Blocks your vision of it in his head. He's almost looking through her, but you just see the changeling.
Holy shit.
If I allow you to see that, it would not end well for you.
I need to see it.
They will enter
Just
your
need
mind.
to help him find it.
Do you want to risk that? If they enter your mind, you'll be as broken as he does. You'll not be able to rest around your friends. You'll never sleep well again.
Oh my god.
This will be a very decisive wisdom saving throw.
Right.
And it'll be a series of them.
You do get the buff from Intellect Fortress.
What does Intellect Fortress do? Yeah.
It gives you resistance to psychic damage and advantage on int, wisdom, and charisma saves.
Are your wisdom saves?
That's what I'm about to check. 0.
That's not great.
No. That's
for
why
a
I'm like,
series of checks.
I don't think, yeah. I think Tack would pull out.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Abigail opens your eyes. And we
Sorry.
What happened?
I think it was about to come into my mind instead of Calig's. I didn't want to risk it.
Did you see anything?
No, it was blocked. I wasn't able to see it.
Blocked by.
This tackle gesture, this thing.
Mm. Then you have to make a decision. Do you want to try that again? And change the memory? Or do we wipe him?
I have a question or thought.
I also might have an idea after you.
Yours is probably more possible. Is there... You know, when we were in the tent a little bit ago, Abigail, and you were explaining dancing lights, right?
Yes.
And then the theory behind it, right, that we all know, of course. And then you turned round and she just sort of did it. No, with nothing.
News to me.
So, don't tell her I told you. Because she looked quite chuffed. But, what I'm saying is, I don't think anyone knows quite what she's capable of, right? Is it possible that she can sort of... I don't know, can she do things from a distance? Can she... Is it... It just feels like this is something we need to know. But I don't want anyone, you know, to be put in danger, certainly.
There is also another option. If we allow her to attempt it, and it goes badly, we can wipe her mind and start again. However, and I'll happily say this in front of him, is he worth it?
That seems so cruel to her.
So because I bathed in the aberration blood, the spider, I can also do telepathy and detect thoughts.
I was trying to figure out how I could kinda telepathy that shit too.
I was wondering if I telepathied on TAC while they were doing it, if I could see, like, because I don't have this changeling entity. I apparently have an entity, so that might also just tell us what the fuck is in my head too, right? Like, but
yeah, that's kind of where my head was going.
You'd be making the wisdom saves for whatever this is seen.
Yeah, so the risk is still there, obviously. That
the only thing that TAC's
totally
one allowed TAC to do was, if there was anyone else, you wouldn't have had a warning.
Yeah. That's fair. Yeah.
Yeah. So it's, I mean, whoever, if anyone wants to see it, they need to just fucking cross their fingers and also have
This is looking
wisdom
upon
saves.
something you shouldn't be looking at.
Yeah. Okay.
But it'll come with information if you want to risk it. But I will say, it does come with some downsides.
So it sounds like the option with the smallest amount of risk that still gets us probably what we want is to wipe out a big chunk of his memory and just hope that he doesn't kind of
Except for didn't he
go
say
mad from having this huge gap in his mind?
Didn't he say he was
seek out
worried?
that information.
Yeah, like is it same amount of, can we make words? Jesus. Can we we can't change the memory without knowing what it is, right? Is that why we'd have to wipe it? Or can we just be like, aha, there it is. Now it's this.
If you want to be more
saw
specific, you need
a
to
whale.
see it, essentially. You have to know what you're changing from to.
Yeah.
Yeah, because that's what I was wondering too, is like currently we're looking for like a specific moment, but could we
could we
like
just
can you
take
wipe
that
like the
whole
room
day?
like
The room is empty or
right.
yeah.
Yeah, you could probably wipe the whole day. This is just if you wanted to see that specific moment yourself.
Right.
You're basically just
If
getting
we
rid of the
want
information.
exactly what he saw.
I've only got a +2. I don't really
I only have a +1, so
trust.
You have to think of it like this.
Yeah.
Imagine you're cutting a YouTube video,
wisdom.
right? You're essentially cutting early, and if you're cutting out a whole segment and just deleting that.
Right.
Yeah.
If you want to replace it, you've got to find the specific portion you're taking and put something else there. So it's kind of like that.
You guys really want this info?
No, I'm fine
Well,
without it, honestly.
Yeah.
But just
I
trying
mean,
to
Andrasa
logistically
definitely
think of,
does,
like,
right?
yeah,
Yeah.
of course.
Yeah. like,
I mean, yeah, could the
obvious.
memory just be like the second he walks in the vault, he falls asleep?
Yeah.
And then he woke up in the hospital, right?
The problem
Yeah.
is
I mean,
that she said multiple times in order to modify a specific memory, she needs to know what the memory is. So that's too risky.
I have a
She
question
can wipe it.
about.
Yeah.
Yeah, there'll be like a blank. It'd be like he remembers entering and then just remembers waking up. He can do. She can
If
do that.
modify memory is a spell, and we know that we modified that memory, if there was a point in time where we want to check that memory again, would it be possible to dispel that spell?
Greater
Because
restoration.
We would be the only one. Greater restoration. Well, that's in 2 levels for mine.
Yep.
Okay.
I'll have that in 2 levels.
There's
Or-
also
or
a
That kind
spell
of
that
works out.
it's also a spell that no one in this land would have access to unless they like were really, shit.
Yeah.
In 2 levels, I get greater restoration.
Okay.
Like plenty. So
I mean,
All we
I
gotta
imagine-
do is convince Calig to stay in our weird little
Yes.
yeah.
group.
Yeah.
well, he would have no
though-
And
reason
if we
to
need
not,
that
right?
shit.
You know
Um,
it's there if we need it, and we are at that point in a way better position to attempt to look. Then that's a different story. But I don't think we're strong enough to.
No.
Like I
Not
think
right now.
I have the best wisdom saves, and I don't want to fucking go near that shit with.
You
a
also
Yeah.
don't have any defense, right?
Well, I have a
'Cause
I have a divine
Yeah,
patron. And
we
I'm
all
not
have
doing it.
entities apparently in our heads. You
Yeah.
don't. Yeah.
Doesn't the entity only give you the option to like
Resist.
to not do it, but it still doesn't
Well,
change
it
the
depends.
success
It
possibility?
seems
Also
like
remove curse, by the
Morgane's
way.
was like very strong.
remove
Okay.
curse.
Remove
Curse.
curse or
Curse.
greater restoration. Both can restore memory.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay. So we're not deleting it forever. This is a band-aid fix until
Yeah.
we're ready to address it.
That sounds good.
She's got an alternate version of modify memory because it's more innate to her. It's
Yeah.
it's one which is because usually it's 9th level to do it, wipe anything. Her one is more specifically how much she can wipe depending on the level. So she can go at any point, but she wipes, say, this thing here. That's 10 minutes, hour, 2 hours, and whatnot. So yeah, greater restoration or greater remove curse will fix it if you wish.
Okay.
So, what would you like me to do?
Looks at Calig. If we wipe the day or wipe your time in the vault, I know it makes you nervous, but if this thing is gone, if you're able to sleep,
I just, I remember my curiosity going in. It's one thing that I've never been able to get rid of until after the vault. Was no matter what it cost, curiosity. I pursued my whole life around it. I just worry that I'm going to be curious if what the most curious thing that ever happened to me.
Could we bring him to the next vault with us? I mean, what are the chances that we're all not going to see something in the next vault anyways?
say that.
Right? Like,
What are the chances it happens again? Like 100%?
look, I mean, we were pretty upfront with you about what's going on with us. I think if you stay with this group, you'll have community, and we get up to plenty of things that would satisfy some strange curiosity, I think.
Okay. Remind me
Okay.
that I don't want to know.
Oh well.
But try to put it in a way that doesn't then tempt me to find out because I want to know why not. Okay. Yeah, I'd wipe it. Wipe the whole bloody week if you like. In fact, maybe that's what you should do.
Then you wouldn't remember being curious about going in, right?
I didn't know the vault until they gave us the
Wouldn't
job.
remember being hired at all, so it would be just right.
Aye,
Maybe that is better.
it's about 3 weeks. Take it away. She nods.
I feel so bad for him.
Me too.
She leans in,
Think about all the 3 weeks you don't remember, though. Come on.
places a hand on his head and goes, all right. I want you to think about the date, the beginning of those 3 weeks, and then the end. Just that. Okay. He closes his eyes, begins to think. And you see a 7th level spell gonna go into his mind. And she draws her hands out, and you can see Morgan's not there actually, so you just see her draw her hands out. And her rings her fingers. He flicks his eyes open. Okay. That's weird. I don't remember. I remember everyone asking me about something called the vault. These things trying to get into my head.
Yeah.
I don't
Probably
really...
wasn't anything important anyway.
I remember you saying to me to remember something, and I just don't remember what it is. I know you told me to forget about it. She goes, yep, no, that'll wear off in some time. Keep your eye on him, and if it ever comes back, we can just get rid of it all. Unless you need it. But for now, I'm going to get back to Spring. And she just turns on a hill, kind of non-caringly towards him. Marches back up the way, and he kind of folds his arms and goes, oh. Hopefully that helped, eh?
Only one way to find out. Sleep.
Okay. Could you do that thing?
Yes. I can spend an hour making a little chrysalis hammock.
He
Aw.
kind of gets up into it, and he feels a bit strange, like with you around after you built it, with everyone looking at you. And he would drift off to sleep pretty quickly.
Perfect.
And you can see, as he's turning and moving in his dream, pained by whatever he's seeing, you see the darkness starts to flow around his mind. And then fades. Not interested currently.
Band-aid. A good
Yeah,
band-aid,
sure.
though.
He would remain asleep.
Good, good.
Yay!
Yeah, good job. Well,
Okay.
what would you like to pursue next?
I think we probably all want to check in with our stuff, right? I also need to talk to
Mhm.
Vanderbilt at some point.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you've got all of your Bastion stuff that's come back. So if you want to do that next, who would like to look at theirs first?
Go around.
Shayne.
Shayne?
Start with Shayne and go around.
Mine's nowhere near done.
One of yours is, though.
Oh.
Because you...
Oh, yeah.
You do have the bounty board.
Yeah.
So you would return back. Actually, one thing you do have I can give to you is when you kind of head back towards where your smithy and your bounty is, you'd see someone is waiting by your smithy. Aaron, they're just kind of they're stood there with a glowing wrench in hand. Elixir, the glowing wrench, kind of looks up and goes, "Hey, Kurt, Youthith."
I mean, yeah, you planning to just stick with us? You're not gonna...
Well, I moved all my stuff up here, so I sold the shop.
Yeah, then. I mean, feel free.
Okay. So I'm going to take over with whoever's making this thing. Because they're taking a really long time, and I just want to get to it.
I mean, you just want to work here instead? It'll keep you busy. Okay.
Yeah, I've already moved my things in.
That's fine.
Okay. And he goes in, he starts working on the half plate, and you can see he just starts hammering against it, waiting. Essentially, Elixir is now a permanent member of your camp. The same way you've got other characters like Shuba and whatnot attached. The only place he could have attached to out of the ones you picked was a smithy. So obviously you can kick him out, but currently if he's attached to that, the benefits you get is he speeds up the time of making the armor. And he also has the chance at the end, you get to roll a number once the item's made, and on a certain DC, it can become magical accidentally. Ooh. So he has the chance of accidentally upgrading your armor to being basic magical. So he's only beneficial towards you. But yeah, he would go in there. So when you're away from the station, when you're not working on personally, he can start taking over where you're left off. And he's a capable little smith or artificer. So yeah, you get him. But then you also see outside your smithy, the bounty board has a bounty called Bullet Raiders. It's for 1,000 gold. And it reads as the locals of Fox's Tail have asked for aid. A bullet came crashing through their home, which was bad enough, but as they were trying to escape, a group of goblins and a half-burnt bugbear began attacking village folk. They were all reported calling out for a smirker. So there's your bounty. If you wish to pursue a bounty in the area, if you just need extra cash, you don't have to. Cool. But I will post it in our group chat.
Above board, I'm just saying, isn't a goblin and a bugbear 2 out of the 3 things to get the tattoo?
Oh, yeah.
Dead fish.
Yes, here we go.
I'm just throwing it out there. In case anyone's like, I would really like a tattoo of a
really
dead fish.
For a new tat, yeah.
It'd get you 2 out of the 3.
But yeah, you have
tattoos.
That's your bounty potential if you wish to pursue. But that'd be your bounty. That'd be your Bastion stuff done for this moment. As your armor is still in the creation. Does anyone else want to go next? Some of them are quicker than others for sure.
I'll go.
Yeah, do it.
Sorry.
Your storehouse has returned 550 gold back.
Nice.
So you spent 500, got 50 gold essentially profit.
Nice.
So you can see the people working in there who are like, coming to you. Oh, we've managed to make some profit on the stuff. So we're going to continue to do that. Make a stock of everything coming in and out, foods and produce we've been selling. Your Merc camp is a small tent with Ghast in it, the kind of Farseer creature that worked with Haltz. He waits for you inside the tent, and when you kind of come in for the first time, he looks at you and goes, I have the information that you wanted. The magical beans. Festival. I found someone in the Beyond Stars Explorers Guild. They are trying to do some sort of dissecting of the beans to reverse their magic. They're somewhere in the Bay of Progress. I did not find out where. Perhaps this is someone you should pursue. I also have 2 potential hirings. You ask which one you want, and I will hire them to come and join our camp. The first of which is the one that you personally asked for, which is a scout. I found a man, a halfling, named Jabbo Twinchin. He is a nimble thief of sorts, formerly of the Hillies. Used to use him to spar on others, and he's surprisingly nimble despite his size. Uses a sling, a very good scout. The other option that I found in the city is Hannum Kaur. He's a warrior. He is a dwarf warrior, trained in the use of twin shields. One shield on his left arm and one on the right. He wears stone armor that has taken years to learn how to wear and train in. He's a mercenary that is open for work, if you wish to have him part of the camp. So there's your choices. You get to pick rather the scout or the warrior, because one of them was randomized.
Okay.
You can never turn into Bin if we get the scout. He's just going to be like, Mop and Bucket.
I've already promised to
True.
not turn into Ben
That's true.
anymore.
You did.
Oh.
True.
Forbidden.
Formerly Hilly's member, as in he's.
Oh,
yeah, So
okay.
he would have been prior to that.
So
time.
we didn't encounter him.
Okay. And then you like just left. He's like, this group sucks now. They had their asses handed to
Everyone
him
I knew
by.
got killed and
Yeah.
into a barrel.
My brother was in a barrel.
No.
Okay. Maybe the scout. Maybe Jabbo.
Okay.
Yeah.
I will inform him momentarily. He'll join our camp within the night. All right. You've got Jabbo Twin Chin joining your mercenary band.
Perfect.
Twin Chin. Is
Twin
that
Chin.
his name?
Yes.
Nice.
So good.
Love Twin Chin.
If this man does not have two chins, I'm out.
Who's next?
Can we do mine next? Because my kid keeps flopping around.
That's
And
okay.
I'm worried she's gonna raise like the dead.
Yeah, you've got your one's very quick and easy. It is a garden. So you got 60 gold worth of decorative flowers you got from your garden. And you also had Shubo make 3 fancy cloaks. So I'll let you decide how they look in terms of their thing. I imagine kind of like one very long kind of one that goes over your shoulder. You can have one that's kind of far more of a formal, like almost knight-like one. And maybe a cloak that almost kind of wraps around all the way. But you get to decide how they look. You have 3 fancy cloaks to use to your heart's desire. Morgaine, I can tell you your one as well, because fairly quickly. Technically, in Drassa, your one's the longest because of the information you asked for. Morgaine, when you are back, you can see that someone has crafted the focus for your shrine in your tent. You've kind of got the little shrine so you can go and worship in there. But the other thing you notice as well is there's 4 actual soldiers that belong to your garrison now.
Okay.
Oh, shit.
You can see 4 people training who have kind of... One of them steps up and kind of looks at you. They've got like basic clad armor and kind of looks and goes, I hope you don't mind. We heard the call and me and the lads actually decided to come up here. We heard there was a knight. Knight from the Dreadfort. We would love to learn under you. At least just some techniques, if that's all right.
Of course.
Fantastic. We were part of the city guard for years. But once we heard there was an opportunity to come out here and take to the land, I mean, we thought better of that than standing around in front of a gate all the time.
It'll be a lot more interesting here. Let's see what you're made of.
Thank you so much, sir. I go back to him and he starts kind of going, oh, boys, press. And we'll just start kind of training amongst each other with some wooden swords on. But you do have 4 soldiers that will protect the
Again,
garrison.
would like occasionally step in and like.
Help. Yeah. That makes sense. Yeah, you'd be able to give them tips and pointers. Carlisle, you'd get back towards your little kind of medical caravan of sorts. And you would have it so someone's kind of formed together a medic's pack for you. So you have that. And then you also have enough herbs for a potion of healing. So you'd see these kind of little flowers have grown, and you can see you can now trim their leaves and then crush those up to make a potion of healing. So that's grown for you now as well. In Drassa.
Yes.
This one comes with a lot of information. Because your arcane study crafted a book, but your library researched 4 facts on guilds and 4 facts on the skinless one. So you get to choose which ones you want to hear first. There's essentially general information about both.
Okay, let's do guilds.
Guilds. When you go in their halts, it's like, all right, I got some information. I've asked around my mates for all the guild stuff around each of the portions of the towns. I've got one from each of the towns, prominent ones that I've learned. If you go by the warm steps, what I've heard is there's a guild of kneaded dough. It's a play on words. It was formerly the greatest bakers guild apparently in all of the Bay. But they've actually just hit financial ruin. See, they created a bread which was transforming people into bread upon consuming it. At first, people thought it was transmutation magic, but it turned out that the baker, who was in charge, Oven Master Seric, was using reality magic. He's been arrested, and now a lot of his assets are being sold off. Apparently, all the bakers have been going at each other's throats since. So be careful of bakers in warm steps. The other one I learned about
Right.
is the Makers Guild in Sun's Rest. Now, this is one I actually did know about myself a little bit. If you're going to go by Sun's Rest, watch out for them. They command so much respect they're practically treated as one of the lordling houses. They're the guild that was responsible for making the Sunforged in the first place. So, if you go by there, make sure to stick by their rule. I've heard guilds disband entirely if they want them to. Also, another one to keep aware of if you do find yourself in Whisperwind is Children of the Breeze. It's an airship building guild. They're kind of a fundamental part of the town in general. And, I don't know, I was trying to look into them. The weirdest thing I found about them is the highest honour in that guild is to be merged with your airship itself. They practically just fucking morph you into it. So you're flying it with your own body.
Yeah, lovely.
Yeah. And then the last one I can warn you of is something that's been picking up recently over in Starlock. Vermilion Flask. After the slaughter of that Cerulean Flask years ago, there's a group of upstart alchemists who created this guild probably about 30 years ago. They're following one of their master alchemists who's come back with some information. They've been looking at stuff, and this year at the Starclock Display of Design, which they have yearly, apparently they've been working on a potion that has the ability to store one's soul upon death without the result of lichdom.
Really?
That's what they're saying. So, there's a few guilds of all the different places.
All right.
As for the other
That's
stuff,
quite-
it's a lot of quotes I found in different books. But, I don't know,
Okay.
it might help you. You asked me to get 4 facts on that skinless one, alright? So,
Yes.
here's the information I could grab out. I've had people skimming over history books. I've paid some people off to actually look for me as well. The first mention, and I can tell you there's not much information here, just general mentions in different books.
Sure.
The first mention of the skinless one comes from a book called The Sunrise of Lux. It was made in the Age of Stars by a scholar called Dereka Breeze. It's only mentioned briefly in a section discussing Prelux gods in general. It might not be entirely accurate and might just be playful words.
Of course.
But the quote itself is, "Gods of fire, ones of grass and tree, some great of size, others smaller than a thumb, hairy beasts and skinless ones, and ones with no form at all."
Interesting. All right.
The second mention of the skinless one that I could find is in the book Collective and Up-to-Date Histories of Highloma, accumulated by the Quill to Parchment Guild. It credits several writers. It was made during the War of 100 Blessings. Roll a history check for me.
Okay, my rolls have not been great today. 27.
You would know of this book. You've probably read some sections of this book before. It is a book that was made by the Quill to Parchment Guild during the War of 100 Blessings out of the fear that if the war was to consume all the land, they might lose all of their history. So the idea was that they would write this extremely detailed history book that people consider extremely boring. And the original copies were all put into bottles and then teleported across the entire world of Vale. Most of those have been destroyed. Those original copies are worth a fortune. And the only known ones that people read now are copies of those original ones. Or like a copied version that was still in Highloma. There's a passage in that book, though, that does state, across several regions of Highloma, lesser cults have formed to praise long-dead gods of false deities, such as a Blood Prince, a Dream Taker, the Anger of Man, the Skinless One, the Eyes Below, and the Terror of the Bay. The first 5 of those are all nomadic in nature, searching for hidden artifacts of treasures of the world in the name of their deities. I will also link you these things as well, obviously. The third mention I could get of the Skinless One was from a poem by Robbo Overtop. It was during the same War of 100 Blessings. In that, it states, when referring to the setting, if darkness befalls our land once more, it is not the cold of a sunless land I fear, nor the warm embrace of unknowns call, but the skinless ones who look as lover as quickly as enemy, for their intentions are not translucent of skin. He probably puts it a lot more poetically than I do.
Sure.
And I rolled for this one to see if you'd get the fourth bit, and you did.
Hey.
The final mention is a much rarer mention. And honestly, I don't even really have the full book for this one. Just someone who gave me a passage that they've read. It is from number 3. Book 3. Roll a history check. I'll give you advantage on this, considering... No, I'll give you... No, just give me a history.
You just said it. You can't take
Yeah, because of your past and background, I'll give you advantage because it's forbidden knowledge.
Okay. History again?
Yes, please.
Pip.
It's technically not forbidden magical knowledge, but I'll give you advantage
Sure.
because it's forbidden.
25.
When he says book 3, you would know of a series of novels who are written by someone called Joralena Nethelio. Joralena Nethelio. This is the name. These books were never given a title, and it was only ever worked out that this was the writer because of people posing history and kind of matching it up. In truth, these works have mostly been destroyed because they're considered blaspheme to the god of Lux. It's blasphemy to Kyver. I can't say her name right now. Joralena Nethelio was a former inquisitor of the Luxian religion who, upon her sister's arrest for reality magic, she was angered and left the Luxian and decided to reveal secrets that she had learned during her time. And what she did was she wrote books, had them copied, and then sent places, and then didn't kind of title them. She's a wanted criminal by Lux for doing so, for blasphemy. But in this particular book 3, she describes herself interrogating a prisoner who had seemed to go mad. The year was 370, during the rise of the Bastard of Beauty. The quote, "I looked upon a madman who had flayed his own arm. Despite the rest of his body taken to rot, the arm remained as if it was recently cut, preserved even. When I cast Speak with Dead upon his body, even his soul had fallen to craze. Each question I asked was met with the same answer. The skinless one will take back the land. I wonder now as I wondered then. Zaxis was our enemy, but why did this skinless one want him dead?"
Okay.
So that's your 4 bits.
All right. I think she would just be deep in thought. All right. Thank you, dear. That was quite helpful.
You got it. So, with all your Bastion stuff done, is there anything else you want to do in the town? In your campsite?
We can't assign them new stuff, right? Because we did.
Not for a few
'cause
days.
we-
Technically, they're maintaining right now, making sure everything's
Yeah.
good. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, your next assignment will come in, I think, 6 days from now, which will probably be wherever you head next. But otherwise, if you have anyone you want to talk to around the town, around the camp, you can. Or even each other.
I need to see Vanderbilt. That
Mhm.
can be fast.
Sure. Are you going alone?
I mean, anyone's welcome. I think she would say that she's going to see Vanderbilt.
Okay. If anyone wants to go with, they can. Yeah, his shop is open. He's wandering around, and you can see he's kind of replacing some of his goods. as you come in, he looks towards you. Richard's not on his step.
I'll go too.
Okay.
Richard's not there.
No.
I walk out.
There's music. Yeah, you'd go in there. Richard's not on the step, but of the spell counter. But you'd see that he's going around, kind of like looking through all of his wares, taking some stuff up, and kind of wrapping it up. He turns his head towards all and goes, "Oh, my friends, how are you doing?"
Hello, Master Vanderbilt. How are you, dear? We are good.
Not too bad. Yeah, not too bad.
Is anyone else in there?
No.
Okay. Right, dear. Have you, by any chance, do you have anything new? Any sort of new scrolls or anything?
No, but I will, wherever we head to next, I'm going to get a new shipment in. That's why I'm moving everything. I'm going to be trading
fantastic.
there. But so I should have a restock, probably about a week or so from now. So if there's anything else you want to buy from here now of this stock, I'm probably going to be selling that all and sending it over to storage. So,
yes.
unless it's really fanciful, such as the fruit, if you can afford it.
The fruit.
Yes, let's just pick that up right now. Right, Carlisle? Just get
We've
the
stumbled
fruit.
across plenty of money. We could get the fruit.
Yeah.
How much was the fruit again?
It's like 50
No,
grand.
15,000.
Yeah, 50.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Well, I'm willing to do a discount for my friends.
Oh, you're willing to do a discount of about 49,000 gold.
I would sooner kill you all.
Okay, then I don't think we'll be picking it up today.
All right.
I'm going to walk over to the second level scrolls and sort of thumb through them and pick one up. And bring that on over to him. I've got a sort of question or two, I suppose. This might be, I think this is sort of more of a magic item kind of thing that could exist, could be made. Is there anything that would allow someone to see the level of a spell, the sort of strength of a spell that was being cast?
Oh.
Do you know, so normally, right, if someone's starting to do something and I think, oh, I know those hand movements, that's obviously polymorph, but...
All right, yeah, I can make something like that.
And then a sort of...
I will give you an ingredient to get. I'm not just going to make it out of my willy-nilly.
Sure, of course, dear.
All right.
I'm also kind of wondering, sort of for a few of us, well, at least...
Yes?
Me and Tack, well, probably, yes. Anyway. What do you do if, is your, badge real?
Yes?
Frozen. Oh, there we go. A little frozen.
Oh.
Your...
Yes, is my badge real?
Yes.
Sort of.
Exactly. What if I wanted a sort of real badge? What would I need to do?
Wow. It's a little difficult. I have a guy, I know a guy.
I just want to know it's possible.
Oh, yeah, it's possible.
Really,
I mean, you just apply for one.
possible,
Why
right?
do you apply
It's
for
just
one?
Some things are more improbable than others. Why don't I just apply for one? I can't believe I haven't thought of that, Master Vanderbilt. What an absolute perfect solution.
Oh, I'm detecting sarcasm.
Yes,
No.
you didn't need an item for that, do you, dear?
No, I don't.
No, of course not. All right. I think we are good for now. I just want to know what if we needed some, if it is, like I said, within the realm of possibility.
Well,
what would have to be
it
done?
is in the realm of possibility. But if you get caught, you're going to get fucked. Because they will throw you away for a long time if you cast magic that's beyond you.
Yes.
Especially if that Sir Morgaine comes after you.
I would never do that, so I've got nothing to worry about, of course.
Okay. And if you tell Sir Morgaine that mine is even slightly artificial, I will take away all discounts.
Why would I? I'm not. I also don't know that she would. All right, I won't say anything.
She'll care, okay? Because she's had it out for me from day one, okay?
She
She
sent
wants
it
to
out
find
for
a
you.
reason to fucking
I
throw
don't-
me
I don't
behind the
think-
dread vault.
I don't think that's true. What makes you think that?
I see evil
They're
behind
a
those
little
eyes.
busy right now to take a detour to the dread vault to throw you
Right,
away.
it's quite far.
You say that?
Perhaps
You've seen-
you are
Okay.
projecting.
Do you?
Okay, I'm projecting. All
What
right.
has she done to make you think that?
I know, look shifty.
He
Oh,
looks
they
shifty.
look shifty.
You don't think so, Morgan looks shifty?
No, I think she's the least shifty-looking.
Sometimes she
person.
just stares straight forward.
Oh,
Oh,
that
he does not know.
Oh,
Is someone
That's
going
Vander-
to tell him?
Such
they're
a bad
blind. They can't. They don't use their. They don't see with their eyes. You know that, right?
Oh, shit.
she can
That
see
makes-
magical
okay, well-
auras, dear.
Right, I feel bad now.
We won't tell her that
Don't tell her that
you
bit.
thought that she had it out for you.
Well,
How did you not know?
I feel
Don't
like
know
it's
if you-
come up,
After
dear,
this
has it
much
not?
time.
I try not to
Travel
pay.
with us.
The problem with you lot is that don't buy much, so a lot of the time I drown you out.
I bought like so many
Well,
things. I'm
the
buying
helmet
something
doesn't
again
have
today.
eyes. There's no eye sockets on the helmet.
It's just the vibe you give off, apparently.
Right. All right. I would just like this scroll here, please.
Yeah. All right. Goes to the
I'm
traditional
gonna
amount.
hand over 100 gold for the scroll.
All right. And as I said, stock's going to be changing soon. So last time to really look through it is wherever you're off to next. When we arrive, I'll give you one last little gander and then shabam
Where
Right.
is Richard?
on his mandatory break. Yeah, a lot more demand since you guys put that little rebellious attitude into him. So thanks for that.
But you two are getting along better.
I mean, maybe I have demands of my own, you know? Maybe I need him to step up his game, all right? Sales have been pretty shit around Marigold, all right? So, I feel like it's not me.
Wait, are you blaming Richard
Yes.
for poor sales?
Yeah, absolutely.
Oh, I just wanted to clarify.
I mean, it's practically half the reason you guys even come in here. Oh, where's Richard? Where's Richard? Yes. You look for Richard, and then you look at my wares.
We have such
Just marketing.
good outfits all the time.
All right. Well, if you're not buying anything more, I'm going to go
Well,
back
I'm
to...
interested in putting an order in or seeing if it's within
Ah.
your capabilities.
Absolutely.
Well, one of us died the other day. And
Oh, no.
if you have not noticed, no, they are still alive now.
Oh, okay.
They are.
That's why I got this, dear. Holds up scroll, which is above board gentle repose.
Yeah,
Alright.
and kind of get into that. I don't know if you've noticed, I'm not currently capable of casting magic. I used
Sorry to
an
hear that.
item. Yeah, I used an item to do that process.
Okay.
A crystal with the revivify spell in it.
Okay.
I need something that can do that, and likely multiple of them.
Okay.
Because specifically, if that happens, it can't be a scroll. I'm not going to be able to do that. It needs to have the magic in there already.
Yeah, you need something that we can, like, slot a diamond in and it does the process for you.
Yeah.
All right. Oh. All right, I'll come up with something. That would work.
Okay.
Yeah. Do you want their soul stored in the item or just...
No, I want their soul back in their
Okay,
body
just
when I'm done
checking.
with it.
All right, okay, all right.
Like for safekeeping, and you can get
Well,
it
I don't know,
out
like a
and put
lich.
it-
I do. I don't want
not.
a lich situation. I want
Okay.
You're not
Want to
trying to
bring
make
your
a
friend
whole
they
back.
new
put
glitches.
their soul back in their body situation.
Okay.
which hopefully won't come up again anyways. But that
Yeah.
was my one. That was my one I had, and if I don't get a replacement one,
Like I said, 3 weeks is what I usually would give you, and you guys have tripled it at least. So I am expecting a death soon. After I make the device, hopefully. So.
Right.
yeah.
Sorry, it's been a while
Maybe
since
we
I
should start.
socialized. I've been stuck around that Elixir.
Oh.
Yeah, till I gave them
He's
an idea.
joining the camp. You must be so excited.
I mean, I knew he was going to join the camp the moment you guys invited him. I'm just glad that I managed to divert his attention over to Desmond.
I forgot to. I'd quite like these as well. I hold up the 2 subtle mind crystals
Okay.
that he had.
Let me see if I can find the
80 gold
prices of
each.
those. 80 gold each, yeah.
80 gold.
The ones which are consumed.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. All right. Throw those on the pile.
I think I'll be quite more careful than throwing them, but yes.
All right. He takes one and just throws it on the ground. And just
No, I d-
leans down, picks up. It's fucking magic. What are you expecting? It's gonna shatter. What kind of trick to do
just-
that? Okay, yeah.
take care of your things. You just throw things right.
I'll handle that part of it. You just pay the gold. Okay, so 160 gold on that, please. Thank you very much. All right. So, again, like I said, come on by in about a week or so from now. I'll start looking into what you need for that little thingy-mabobs, and we'll get it going. Okay.
Fantastic, dear.
Fantastic.
Right. Tell Richard we said hello.
All right. Off you go. All right. Well, with that kind of being ordered and whatnot, is there anything you'd lastly like to do around the town? Or around the, I keep calling it town, campsite? Then,
Awful town.
as the kind of sun goes a bit lower, you're all kind of spending your time in that. In Drusser, you'd see a new tent is set up. As close to yours as it could be. Outside of it stand 2 guards. Both of them are quiet, wearing very plain, kind of almost soft red outfits. Almost like quilted around the front. Both of them have spears in their hands, and in these kind of very short, thin shields that only really guard the wrist. And they stand there. Both of them look almost twin-like. They're bald, very plain features, and they stand in front of this kind of quite just almost like a triangular type tent that looks like it probably is only big enough to have a bed and maybe like a small walking, like a rug or something as you go in. And they've set up as close to your tent as they can.
Do I recognize them? Do I
You
recognize
do.
their outfits?
You recognize
Okay.
these as 2 guards, which are quite familiar to you. The last time you saw them prior to Crown Hall, as they are guards of Felis Latrilla.
Okay. I'll nod at them.
They kind of just stare forward.
Is he inside? Dicks. I think she'd just step forward.
There's a quiet moment, and suddenly you see the tent open on its own. Are you still with the others?
I mean, I think I
We
would have said
would've-
yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
maybe split up, left together, but he is curious about what is going on.
Yeah, I don't think I
At
would have been
least
like, don't come with
watching.
me, I'm going to my
Yeah,
tent.
yeah.
Like, we're all like relatively close, right?
I
Probably
don't-
everybody
I
would
don't
have
think
seen
it
like a
slipped
new
past
tent.
Carlisle, that there's a new tent.
A brand new tent?
Yeah.
Yeah, right.
Well, there's been several new tents to your camp. It's just this one's probably the nicer looking one.
Right.
As people have joined. You'd see kind of stepping out of the tent itself, and you can see it's almost faded with darkness inside the tent. Like you can't even see in, even though the light kind of peers by, like almost like it's silhouetted. Steps out a well-dressed man who's wearing kind of a long, almost half robe, half suit kind of garb. It kind of goes down towards his knees and then wraps up. Open kind of quilted front with this kind of deep red, very fashionable sleeve that goes up and kind of fluffs at the end with like kind of almost this woolen kind of cuffs. His hair pulled back black and dark wisping eyes, a soft beard on his face. Handsome, good figure, like maybe about 6'2", tall, and he kind of folds one arm behind his back, smiles over towards you, and he's got these very beautiful purple eyes, and kind of nods his head to Carlisle and V, but then just focuses on you and goes, Indrasa.
Hey, this.
Didn't
What are you doing here?
Visiting you, but I did not expect it to be a place like this. I expected a hall of some kind.
How am I going to bring an entire hall about? Of course I'm not in a hall.
I didn't expect you to be on this adventuring thing still, but I suppose, it is exciting.
You could be on the adventuring thing as well, had you not, just absconded very quickly from the party. How are you, dear?
I apologize for doing so. I
know you do.
Momentarily at risk. I'm well. He walks over to her, take your hand and kisses it, and looks towards Carla and Vegas. Are these true of your... What do you call it?
Friends? Companions?
No, that thing you do with adventurers. It's, a group?
Party?
Ah, yes, your adventuring party.
Dear, you should just get at this. Okay, all right. This is Master Carlisle, Davenport, Mistress V.
I have met you
Did we?
just now. This is your mate, Indrasa.
This is,
One of them.
well, right.
Oh, saucy.
This is my partner, Lord Phyllis Larchelaire.
Yes.
How you
Mage
spell
is
that?
primitive.
I'll type it.
It is
Well,
astute.
cool.
Well,
Bold description.
I was passing on through. Thought I'd stop in. See how this whole shenanigans is going.
Dear, there is a lot to catch you up on. It is definitely not quite shenanigans. Have you spoken to Marin?
No. He's busy.
I appreciate that you have things to do, as do we all, but it would be so much easier if you kept in regular contact. Honestly. All right. Well, she sort of looks at V and Carlisle. And seems a little bit sort of kind of on the back foot. We'll see you all for a meal, right? I'll catch up and we'll all get together later.
Yeah, that sounds.
You're trying to dismiss your friends. Why? You can join us if
Yeah,
you like.
we'll get back to our shenanigans or whatever in the camp.
No, they can
What
join
are
us, but
shenanigans?
they've already... Phaelus, dear, they've done everything with me. So if I tell you what's happened, they're going to be bored because they've heard it. Plus, we've told how many other
Should we
folks
be
have we
walking away?
We should
caught
go
up.
now.
It would be like the 8th time they've heard the thing, plus lived through it.
What about the
start
dreadful
slowly
one?
walking
Yeah,
away?
we drift away.
Yeah.
He looks around. What about the other one? The one from the Dreadvault.
Sir Morgaine, what about her? She's around.
Inform me if you see her.
Andrasa kind of rolls her eyes a little bit.
This is one of Andrasa's many partners.
She just kind
apparently.
of, she rolls her eyes a little bit and she'll take his arm and she'll be like, sure.
All right. Up to date me.
All right, maybe let's go inside and not sort of,
Yeah, he wanders into the tent. It closes up.
follows.
When you go inside, it's obviously much larger on the inside, and he sits down on a chair, starts pouring kind of glasses of wine. Then inform me, what's going on?
What have you been doing? Did you get my message? You were supposed to come to Marigold when I was in Marigold. You could have taken me to What have you been doing?
There have been problems back home. Rather large ones. And I have been taking care of the matters.
Well, there are problems here as well, dear.
There always are.
No big problems, I quite think. I suppose she's going to start at the beginning and just sort of
give everything?
Tell him everything. Yeah.
Okay.
I don't think she would leave anything out.
He stands up.
Oh. Hold on. Out of her bag, she's going to take a note. Do you remember I told you about the Knoll fight?
Yes.
And she's got a red crystal with a note. Look at this. This is what I mentioned.
Takes it in your hand, almost kind of
And she's
greedily
gonna-
looks and goes, Zakavox.
Yes, look at the note, dear. From
I
a
don't
knight.
need to. What is it? The crystal tells me everything I need to know. He's dead.
Well, I thought you might be quite happy about that.
No, they're
That's
quite
not for
the
you, by the
contrary.
way. I'm keeping it.
Give me one moment. He's staring at. He passes it back to you. This is interesting. I'm going to
What?
need that.
I found it. What do you mean you're going to need it?
I will replace it.
With what?
Whatever you desire.
I was going to study it and try to... What?
You don't need to study it. I know what it is. It's the blood of Zakavox himself. Gifted
What
him to
if
my
I was
queen.
going to do something with it?
You won't. I will. I will.
Do you know-
I will reward you in equal share.
You absolutely will. I will determine what that was worth. And I will let you know.
Determine your worth, my dear, but at the same time, I'm going to need to keep that. That is precisely why I'm here.
For this that you didn't know I had.
I need to find out where this demon is regenerating. I need to find them.
Zakvox particularly.
Well, one of her brood.
All right.
If your friends are
This is
trustworthy,
rather-
I will. give them
They
some-
are.
You've known them but a blink.
I'm such a good judge of character. If they're trustworthy, you will.
I will share with them some information that they would require. That all of you require.
If they were not trustworthy, you would not tell me this information? You have information that I would quite like to know, and you would not tell me. It seems important, and you would not tell me.
It is matters of my home.
Right.
But it might aid you. It's to do with the crystal. You do not need the crystal.
Well, I don't. It's been rattling around in a bag for a few weeks. I don't really need
Find
it.
them. Find them.
Now.
Well, yes. I'm going soon.
How long have you been here?
I must have arrived only a few hours before you.
Yeah, there's something else I didn't show you yet. the other thing I told you about.
All right.
Pulls out tooth ball.
He stares at.
Holds it. This could be a problem or not a problem.
No, it's not a problem at all. It's the opposite to a problem.
Yes.
What do you want for it?
I don't know that I'm going to give it to you.
Do you and your friends want to know what it is?
I know what it is.
What is it?
I know who's inside.
No, you don't.
What do you mean, no, I don't?
You don't know the extent of what you are holding on to right now. You surely do not.
Yes, I do.
What is it?
I'm sorry. Take a moment. Are you suggesting that I don't know what I'm talking about?
No, I'm suggesting that you
Has
know
to-
what you're talking about. You just don't know everything you're talking about.
All right. Well, I know that I forgot. Well, G forgot, but Andrasta would not. The name of the dude that's stuck inside. It is, hold on.
Do you want me to say it?
Gemstone of the mod.
She's got to take advantage of her notes. She wrote that.
I know,
Oh,
right?
wait,
I wrote it all down. Oh my god. No, you could tell me. I wrote a lot that day.
It is the Lord of Many Mouths, Zlamarak.
Zlamarak. I knew it was, yeah. Well, yes. Obviously, it's Zlamarak. Is it not?
Well, yes, it is him. But it's
Right.
also...
So,
no?
just say that you were wrong. I did know what it was.
You should not have cut in so early, because this is the point in which I inform you that you do not know the full extent of it. That is not just... No.
That's fine.
That is not just
but
the Lord of Many...
know. I knew who was in there. Just say it.
That is not all it is. For
Say-
it is not just the
say-
Lord of Many...
Say it. I knew who was in the gem.
You knew which archdemon it was,
All right, that'll do.
and you called it a gem. When
It's
in
a
fact...
gem.
No, it's not. That's
Do you want me to call it a tooth ball?
In Druster, that is a layer of the abyss. That is the twisted maw formed down into a tiny form. If you consume that, you become an archdemon. Did you know that? Did you know that you are holding an entire layer of the abyss itself?
Well, I did know someone who did try to inject. It's a whole thing.
They didn't crack
It's a
it
lot of
open
teeth.
correctly. If that were to be consumed properly, you would not only become an archdemon, but you would take over an entire layer of the abyss with an army of demons at your side. That is what you're
Right,
holding.
tell me. Okay, so
That is why I
What-
imagined you
what
did
do
not
you
know it
think-
was. If
what
you're
is-
carrying it around in a bag.
it's in a tiny bag inside a larger bag. But just tell me for a moment, because I'm not that familiar with this one. What's the maw like? Like, what's the weather
The
like?
twisted
Is
maws
it-
are a series of mouths and teeth built upon tongues
Oh,
made
no, I
of
don't want that.
calcified bone.
so gross.
That's
No, I
nasty.
don't think I want to be in charge of that. I'm quite right.
And that's
without
why I'm
that.
asking for it, so I can expand mine.
I told my party that I had someone who would know what it was,
And I do.
and you do. Are you going to safely dispose of this?
Yes.
Will it be safe? Will you be safe?
Absolutely.
How the fuck does one safely dispose? We shouldn't have walked away, Carlisle.
Joe's smirking in real life, so I know this character definitely smirked too, and I don't know for a fucking check.
I'll think about it. You're going to be here for a little bit longer.
Hmm.
I mean, to be fair, we all do know that it is quite dangerous, and the Vrock that we killed was, I don't really want something following us around. It was being followed, of course, right?
Well,
and hunted. And
Thankfully for you, the thing that's hunting is also the thing I'm hunting.
oh, it'd be like a little beacon for you, wouldn't it?
Of sorts.
Wait a moment. I'd be making your job easier. So you'd give me something else for that as well.
You aid me with my plight, I'll aid you with yours.
Hmm.
But yes, it would make my job easier.
You're not going to let anything out, are you?
No, fetch your friends. If you please.
Ask me nicely.
Their dynamic is great.
All right. I think she will look him in the eye and put the gem on the table.
Mm-hmm.
And then turn around and walk out to find everyone.
Okay.
Via's
Finds everyone.
asking Carlisle, like, is it normal to take more than one mate? I do not
Well,
understand.
everyone has their own, way of expressing love for folks, and sometimes that's expressing it to multiple people, as long as it's all between people who are consenting. And it's something that you talk about.
Do they have babies with all of them?
I think that sounds like a lot to me, but perhaps they do.
Are Desmond and Morgan nearby? We'll assume for now that
I'm
Tech's
hanging
away
out with
from the
Mr. Hammer.
area. Okay, nice.
Mr. Hammer.
I thought I was
Forge boys again.
Soldiers.
Yeah, you could be over there. Yeah.
The soldiers.
Yeah.
I find everyone. Do you want to she would probably literally say exactly the same thing to everyone. Maybe we could have a little sort of group conversation, yes? Bit of a little.
Okay.
With your mates. Yes.
Yes, dear.
And you
Is
gave
this
everyone-
not the proper term?
It's partner, really, not mate so much.
I thought
Well,
partner was like a business thing.
It's sort of a little bit of everything.
Hmm.
It's multi-purpose, dear. You can use it for a lot.
I see. Very well.
Goes to find Desmond and Morgan. Desmond, dear, could we just have a little group sort of chat? Would you mind? You do look busy, dear, but
Yeah, no, it's fine. I got someone to run the shop while I go now.
all right. Finds Morgan. Sort of like waits till she's done whooping ass or whatever. Like a game of double dutch. She's like waiting to like figure out what she could like.
Sure.
All right. Grab everyone. Find stack. Grab stack.
Okay.
Comes
Yeah.
back.
If you return back into it. Inside the tent, Morgan, the first thing you'll notice is a serious amount of reality magic. Teal has kind of merged everything, and there's a long table there now with all seats and kind of like wines put across it. And at the end of it, he sits. At the end of the chair, he kind of just sits there, like a tall, kind of broad, almost like throne-like chair. Welcome.
Idrasso looks at the chair and is like,
Too much. He kind of
Really?
lowers his hand. It
Yes.
goes, and more down into a normal chair.
God.
like a dork.
Well, please have a seat. I have not met my love's party. Adventuring party.
You can just say friends or companions. That's fine.
It's
You don't
beyond
have
that,
to
is
say
it not? Most friends do not go out
adventuring.
hunting down creatures and fighting great evils.
We are partners.
We are
Is there a chair?
partners.
Is there a chair in this tent that isn't an illusion?
Fake.
Yeah.
No, everything is false.
Is the tent real?
The tent's real.
Okay. Man just literally brought a tent.
Yep.
Don't remember got everything else. Yeah. Right. Sits.
Yeah, that's it.
I'll sit down.
Elixir and Dresser. Are we being truthful?
Does that not defeat
Phaelus,
purpose?
why would you ask me that in front? Wouldn't
look
that
at
be
each
a
other like,
thing
what the fuck?
you'd establish
Everyone's
before?
side eye now.
She looks at everyone, and then she looks at him, and she's like, "Let's be truthful, Phaelus."
All right.
What?
I would like to take that Twisted Moors, which is a condensed realm of the demonic kind that you have gathered from the demons, and I would like to consume it myself.
What the fuck?
Indrasa just puts a hand
Oh
on
my
her head.
God. What would you accomplish by doing this?
Greater power in the abyss.
Well, I appreciate the truthfulness. I'm not okay with that. If we're being truthful,
May I ask why?
Phaelus,
We do not know you. Your
don't know you
intentions.
at all. And
Yeah, why do you want
Stranger,
this power?
danger.
whether
You
or
need it.
not, whether or not
Phaelus.
Jerry ate it incorrectly, we
You-
did kind of see how that played out for them.
yes,
And,
dear.
Mm.
She puts her hand on his arm. Do you know how we've had conversations in the past about how some people need sort of,
Contracts.
a bit. No, not contracts, dear. A bit
Oh,
more
God.
information and a bit. You can't be so blunt with everyone, right? They've only just met you. They need to understand why you would want such a thing before they're going to give it to you and allow you to take it, dear.
You are okay with him doing that and trust.
I am, yes.
We
but
have an
you-
accord. I apologize. I have been wrapped up in my own business for so long that I see a moment of positivity towards my cause, and I misunderstood that all of you have no connection there. When I've been obsessive over something for so long, it can be quite overbearing. And where I'm from, the conversations are a lot more blunt.
Yes, remember,
I enjoy.
you're here.
Yes,
Do you want to start over?
of course. Hello, I am Lord Felus Latrula.
I have met you.
You
Yes.
met me.
Yeah, hello.
Mm.
I am interested in pursuing an archdemon named the Queen of Blood. She's a fairly new one, all accounts for. But she is a conqueror. She has waged war on much of the Abyss, and I think I could find weakness on her, in general. The Twisted Moors is one of her path that she tried to go down. You defeated gnolls that were consuming one of her servants, or at least the remnants of his blood. He looks straight towards you, Morgan. How busy exactly are you?
Why don't you say what you mean?
I just don't want the back and forth.
Well, let's skip it.
Elixir and Dresser. It'd be a lot easier.
What is it Drawson not telling us?
All right. She kind of puts both hands on the table. Do you read sort of in books, books of adventures and whatever, or of great stories and all sorts of things happening, and someone sort of has this moment and they say, all right, everyone, I want to tell you something. I don't want you to freak out.
Mm-hmm.
This is sort of my I'd like to tell you something, and I don't want you to freak out.
He's staring at
course.
Morgan during that.
You can not really promise something like that, and you're going to feel whatever you feel, and your feelings are perfectly valid. However, I would ask that you reserve judgment, and maybe reserve action until the end, if you please.
Oh.
There is quite a good reason that I think that Phalis would be probably the right person to, not probably, would be the right person to take the gem.
And that is because...
Be nice, dear.
Well, I mean, simply because I am Lord Rosaris of the 472nd layer of the Abyss, Archdemon, formerly Devil.
Girl, what are you doing?
That's what we're in tonight's episode. We're a little bit of fun.
Oh, Androssa, what are you doing?
PvP next session.
God damn, dude. I did not see that fucking coming until he started talking. I was like, oh no. Oof.
Well, we can explore the bad decisions and the red flags next week.
Wow!
That's a pretty bad one.
That's amazing,
That's
though, for
big.
your character. That is crazy. Oh my god. Love it.
Yeah, you can
Love
see why I was a little nervous around Morgan. We'll be back next week, though, to basically kind of finish up the portions of the camp and also see where you guys head out to next, where your next destination is. Let's do some shouts. We'll do the bingo, actually, quickly. I've got the bingo here.
Ooh, bingo.
I imagine you're not going to have as good a bingo as last week, because last week's one was kind of crazy. So I'll go to the bingo. All right. We have the bingo up. The first one is a nat 1. I don't think we had a nat 1 today.
No, I don't think so.
No nat 1, no nat 20.
Road encounter rolls. I mean, technically... No. That usually refers
we had
to,
an
am I
encounter.
rolling to... Technically, RP and stuff is considered an encounter. But that's really, am I rolling to see if you guys run into someone? And I didn't. It was more just kind of, fast-paced, except for the dreams. New NPC with long flowing hair? No.
Damn it.
Checks the mail.
If he lets his hair down, it'll be fine.
flows.
For sure.
It's just magically like.
Checks the mail. You don't check your mail. Oh, no.
I sent mail.
Nah.
I sent a message.
Two PCs have private RP moment. Yes.
Yeah, attack and
Yeah.
You
V.
did indeed. Pi
At the
member receives
start.
unsolicited sending spell. No. The Pi lies to cops. No. Dream sequence. Yes. Cast identify. Yes. Shopping. Yes. Waxham joins the caravan. Yes. I wonder how Jerry is doing. No. Free shout out to Evil campaign. Yes. Yes.
I kind of did lie to cops, though.
In this episode?
I'm cops, and Androssa
Oh,
lied.
that's true.
Really lie.
But I'm not sure how much longer
I
you
just
can
didn't-
keep
Oh,
on
man, the
cops.
truth?
But like,
sure, I'll
you
be down.
haven't clocked in.
Come up.
Fucking.
Nobody said,
As far as
who's
I'm
that
concerned.
guy? It just didn't come up.
At least one piece of loot is cursed. Yes. Becomes even more
Yep.
goth after death. I don't think
Not
so.
that we know of yet.
No. Whack someone ball by a
tag.
share a moment. No. Pi picks
No,
up new
but that
side
needs
quest.
to happen.
That does
You do grab your
Hear it.
you grabbed your
We do
bounty.
have a new side quest.
Yeah.
Player reads the recap. Yes. Asks Tack
Yep.
what dying is like.
Not yet.
No, not yet. Significant
was
status
on my
quo
list.
shift in Marigold and Pi's absence. No, you guys didn't inquire. Design vault becomes top priority.
I don't think so.
I wouldn't say
I mean,
you
we
guys
mentioned to
haven't
Abigail
tried
we
this
were
for a
going there, but
you didn't zoom
It's
there.
just a priority.
If
No.
you'd ended today's episode
Priority
with
right
"We
now.
have to go now," then I'd probably say
yeah.
restock some medical supplies. Technically, yeah, because you're Bastion. Nat 20. I don't think we have one. It might be the first episode without a Nat 20 or Nat 1. Initiative rolled for non-combat situation. No. And homebrew minigame mechanics. No.
Oh.
No one today because it was a tough one to guess. But it was a very RP-filled one today. So, we'll be back next week for more of that. Let's do some shout outs. We'll start with Dodger because she's not here. Twitch.tv/Dexbonus. Everyone, she plays different games pretty much all the time. I don't know if she still does the new game every day, but it's close to. She still do a lot of variety. She has coffee. She talks about kids, and she talks about her new dog as well, Peach. Which leads us on to my segue, Sam Strippin.
Hi.
Making me sleep.
Thanks for the segue.
It was
so true.
It was his
On to the next
birthday
segue.
recently, and
Tomorrow gaming.
he does have his D20 for next week. Tomato.
I forgot my channel.
Oh, that's the worst one.
What
that
is it again?
happens.
Dude,
Damn.
it's twitch.tv/cabbage.
No, I think it's
Yeah.
ShayneHawke. I think it is.
You should make a
yeah, that
secret
makes
channel,
sense.
Tomato. See how long it takes people to find you, and the only hint you give it's food.
Don't tell
It
anyone.
could be any food, you know, and you go through a challenge. They
Yeah.
have to find you. First person gets a gift. That'd be amazing. Bree.
Twitch.tv/BreeBun. I beat Dragon Age 2.
Nice.
Yep.
was- she had a funny
Continuing my
ending.
really bad romance streak. So, can only get worse in Inquisition.
There's a great clip of Bree. You have to check out. Is it on your Twitter?
Yeah. It's on my Twitter. I can link it to you.
Yeah, it's very funny. Check it out. It does have spoilers for Dragon Age 2, though. I'll say that. Very big, with very funny ones. Shayne.
Hi, I'm Shayne. I'm streaming on Tuesday. I've got beat EDF again. I could play this game 100 times, I swear to God.
What are you doing
Yeah,
differently
fun.
this time?
I first want to beat it, and then as soon as I get to Inferno, I'm turning on the 5 times enemy multiplier, and I'm going to try to beat it.
It's
Because
crazy.
that's going to be fucking
Dude,
wild.
Every week, Shane is like, "Yeah, I'm strapping myself to the torture chair in this
Yeah.
game, and I'm
Do you know what
letting
it
them go
is?
crazy on me."
It's like, you know that feeling of people get where they need to climb mountains and jump out planes and stuff? I'm like, I don't really have that feeling. He has that for games, right?
That's
Where
before video
he
games.
needs to, you need to get this adrenaline rush in every game you play.
Adrenaline junkie.
Yeah.
It is.
OG.
Masochist.
I'm OLG. Sometimes I stream, sometimes I tweet, pretty rarely, but it's always super awesome what I do.
And
It's super awesome.
if you want to see more behind the scenes stuff, there's a Patreon out there. We just posted up I've got another campaign I'll be running, which is a villain campaign set in a different world, a much more kind of humorous, above board kind of. It doesn't have nearly as much depth in lore. It's very much a comedy campaign. That's all announced on there. You can go and see behind the scenes stuff on there. Otherwise, I don't really know what I'm streaming this week, so just check out the channel, and we'll be back next week for episode 42. Of we are back next week. I think we are missing Bree, but we'll be playing just some exploratory stuff, unless we're too down. So we'll keep you guys out, and we'll let you know. Otherwise, thank you so much, everyone, for
Do a
watching.
bounty.
Well, that's true. You could do. Yeah. All right. Well, I'll see you guys all next week. Much love. Have fun at TwitchCon, and we'll be back next time.
Yeah.
See you later.
Bye-bye.
Bye.